Change my so the sound is working. morning, traders. How's everybody doing? Mighty fine morning. Can you guys hear me? Good morning. All right. Feel pretty good. Feel pretty good. All right, everybody. Let's take a look at the market, or the market that we're trading. Let's take a look at the trading. Go back to the daily market. Over.
It'd be nice if it didn't catch.
Not quite as much. And so yesterday we, hit that what trade like that there. And so that would be a pretty critical point. And now the market is moving in the other direction. So yesterday. And so what we need to do is find a nice entry point. We had a little bit of chaos in the opening bell, Wall Street. And the price, on back and forth. But we're just at the level, if you look back to the left, we're just at that comfort level previous to a little bit of
Why do you think
feel,
that?
we made before opening bell and then after opening bell. Okay?
56 years of life, that's why.
Does the gravity just weigh on you at that point?
Oh, I don't care what he does, I'm just saying, but he's doing it probably. I don't care what he does. That's why gravity doesn't weigh on me.
Tess said,
All right, I was told my sound level was a little bit
she
weak.
got
How's
in
it?
on that.
It's a little bit better?
20 ball.
Oh, yeah.
Cloudy.
Better? Okay,
Steeper.
fantastic. If it gets a little weak, let me know. Okay, so a good deal. Sound like I'm in a tin can. Okay, that helps a little bit. Let me select the appropriate microphone. Here we go. How about now?
Yeah. That's
All right, perfect. Great. All right, good deal. All right, I changed the sound gateway there. Okay, good deal. All right,
the sound gateway.
thank you so much.
Oh, it is interesting. If you
So let me recap what I was talking about for those of you that may not have heard.
part of the DT.
We had a level of 100% retracement down to this level yesterday. So it'd be a
Oh,
critical level.
right.
Just wanted to, and it's very,
In there, she's young.
if you look at the chart, it's very poignant. You know?
Yeah.
Here is a story to be told. You know, you see that
Looks like she's
pricing level there.
Really
So that was one that we were concerned with if things could rally back from. And that matched up with this right here. This was pretty poignant too, right? So those were similar. But before that, the biggest, sharpest movement was right here, right? See how poignant that is? Boom. And then we do back to that level. So, you look at the level, but you also kind of look at look how it came down, it was rejected, went up, kept going up. Came down, was rejected here, it passed that, came down to this point 100%. So I said, well, that's probably a pretty critical key level for us. Good chances. And beyond that, it would be here. Obviously that's a real critical level, but we're not worried about going down to there because we'd just be making money all the way down. So I'm going to maintain my long bias, and let's take a look at what's going on here today. Obviously, it could pull back, but we do have a nice little movement up. And then this opening bell chaos, which is just people just not sure what's going on in the market yet. Okay. Let me clear up some of this chit chat here. All right. There we go. Okay, so let's just wait and see what happens here. That's all we can do. Just kind of wait and see what the market wants to do before we make any big determinations on what we want to do. Okay. So the market's pulling back, but now remember, this is amongst this chaos here. We can clearly see a just technically looking at it, we can clearly see these comfort levels here, and we can see this peak here and come down. So we need to be a little careful about the judgments that we make at this point in the process. I would tend to think that hey, we started off with a bull day. Let's see what the market wants to do. A little premature yet. Normally by about this time the market's settling in, but it hasn't been doing that recently, has it? Just hasn't been doing that recently. It hasn't been settling in and you know, really taking off and doing what it wants to do. Any questions for the last couple of days? Homework, those kinds of things. What do you guys want to discuss? We had for Lisa, I like that, Lisa. We had some homework from last week and from the first. Let me see, was that we were kind of following up with. Yeah, Ken, you're observing what we do, so be patient. By new, do you mean you're here for the first day, first time today? Okay, Ken, cool, welcome. If you're a visitor here for the first time today, welcome. You should have watched a video, and you should have also seen, before you came here, and you should have your rule sheet. And I'll show you what that rule sheet looks like. So hold on just 1 second. There's your rule sheet right there. Okay? You should have that. Let me see. You had a phone call scheduled with your rep this AM, but didn't hear from him, so I thought I may have missed something. Okay. Wonder who is your rep? He should have gotten back with you.
He knows
Maybe
who his rep is.
on a call or something. So
577.
let's find that out. So I want some of my administrative people to find out what's going on there. Your best trading day ever, and it's only been 9 o'clock. Okay, so we're trading the S&P 500 E-mini, the S&P 500. If you're a visitor here today, welcome. You will learn through osmosis what we do. Your number one priority as a visitor is to look at the transparency of the group and look at how cohesive the group is. Okay, this is a group like no other on the planet. All right. We trade the S&P 500. We are futures traders. There's a lot of risk in futures trading, so people need to be trained correctly in trading futures. They need to be traded correctly. And that's what we do. And we do it as a group of we'll have over 300 people online today. And we have, what are the potentials in futures trading? Well, when you're at 20 contracts and you make our limits, and think of contracts as shares. When you're trading 20 shares at a time and you're making 5 to 10 points a week, you're making between 250,000 and 500,000 a year. And that's your goal. Okay, that's your goal. Most people won't make that goal, but everybody will know how to make that goal. Okay? And the reason most people won't is because of discipline. Okay? But everybody can. And, some people just don't want to spend the time, whatever. So, they only want to make, 50 or 100,000 a year or 150,000 a year. And that's kind of what they want to do. So, because they feel comfortable at that level, right? And it takes a little while to get there. You could start trading live, once you practice successfully for 2 weeks in a row and build a track record. And you'll learn about all these things, but not all at once. Okay? So your first number one thing, your first day is to kind of determine, hey, do we know what we're talking about? Are we a transparent group or not? We will be trading, I'm going to bring up a trading ladder. I'm on one of my ladders right now, just trying to set up for a potential lesson.
I took this other one,
We're on a trading ladder.
so I'm in at
We bring it up.
2767.50.
So what do we do? What does a group like ours do? Well, number one, we trade live. This is live. Now I'm trading with live money, which means when I trade, money goes into my account or I lose money out of my account immediately. Okay? So once a trade initiates,
We're in the same,
money or lose money. Right
we're in at the same spot.
There is no going to a seminar going, well, we're going to teach you how to get rich in real estate, but we're not going to take you in the field and show you how to do it. We're just going to, give you materials and move along. That's not what we do. We are a group that works together to learn together and support each other in the trading endeavor. Okay, that's what we do. We have, if you think about it, we trade live, and then we have several hundred people on chat together at the same time, chatting freely. If what we did didn't work, you would have you'd have mayhem. So you're just kind of like getting used to looking at things. We're going to talk about that track record or that rule sheet that I just showed you. Okay, this rule sheet, and whenever you go to trade, whenever you want to buy or sell, you have turnaround signals that alert you that it may be time to buy or sell something. Those are these balls here, these green balls and these blue balls. Green ball means buy, blue ball means sell. That's how you get into a trade. So in a green ball, you're expecting the price to go up. You're going to go long. Blue ball, you're expecting the price to go down. You're going to go
short. So what do you think it is?
Now you don't have to remember that because it's written for you right here on the sheet.
Away from the opening bell.
Green, up, long.
See, I don't like
the
fact that it came down, gave me a good signal, but then it went below my signal. So.
Direction of trend, we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at retracements, which are just discounts in the market. We're going to be looking at cloudy stops and headroom for profit. And this is where we set our trades. I cannot teach you about that. I have to show you how that works. So to show you how that works, I have to be in a position to show you. So that means you have to be patient. So a lot of what we're talking about, you're going to have to be patient and observe. That's why you observe for 2 hours a day for 2 days, which is 4 hours, and not 25 minutes. You can't do life-changing things in 25 minutes. You can't learn anything, you know what I mean? So we let you behind the scenes. We give you tools for your 2 days. Now, was anybody here yesterday? Any visitors here yesterday? Yes. I gave you a couple of tools yesterday that are life-changing kind of tools.
Oh,
Remember?
wow, it just blasted
They were.
past it. Well, at least I made 200.
I gave you that break-even calculator. Right?
Oh, wait, I need my glasses.
Good,
Who is this?
We talked about consistency and the formula. Yes, John.
Oh,
So,
wow.
for free, right?
So, those are Delta girls?
This is stuff that you can't pay for in a college class.
That's a Delta girl?
Thousands and thousands of dollars for to learn in a college class, if you're lucky enough to learn it. Because my education cost me, well, just the last part of my doctoral education cost me over $250,000, and took me 7 years to get my doctorate. Is it 7? Yeah, the 6. Okay, that's how long it took me to learn what I showed you yesterday and the price of it.
right.
Okay, so don't take it lightly. You got it for free, and hopefully you can't apply it to everything now because you don't have that experience. But hopefully you'll understand the importance of what you got yesterday for free. Okay?
Free.
Now let me ask my member something. Let me ask a member that's been here for a couple of years. Do you not get those lessons almost every day?
Yes.
Okay?
So you want some light?
Yeah. So
There you go.
what we do and how you get into doing it is cheap.
This allows for
Inexpensive. Not cheap, inexpensive, but
parking lot
it's
to
cheap.
see us.
Right.
If you wanted to hire me for 3 months, work at your company for 20 hours for 3 months,
You should get Dr.
because I'm going to consult your trainer.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
gonna cost
if
you
I
$250,000.
pay you that, you should be able to like
That's it.
triple my business.
People don't have that kind of money to learn how to trade, common person. So as a group, everybody's sharing the cost of advertising to help bring people in. You know, I spend millions of dollars a year advertising, you know. So, and you get that benefit. So you've already received some benefit just being here. And yesterday, you got some wonderful lessons. Let's take a look at where I am right now.
If we looked at those
Market.
numbers, right?
So the market came down and it gave me a discount. So the market was
If
going
we
up,
spent $1
it
million,
came down, gave me a discount. I said, you know what?
follow
So
up
my
with
stop is where I'm gonna sell at. So you see my sell price
just
now is
failed
set
all of a
above my
sudden.
buy price. So right now, there's no way that I can lose money, okay? In fact, I'm gonna set my stock price up 2 ticks here, okay? You can see my buy price was 27.67.50.
One guy came in, but they came
Price
in
went
from
up.
YouTube.
Then I moved my stop up above it to 20. So if I buy here and I sell here to 29.67.50, let's say the price comes down and it knocks me out there. I sell there. How many points would I have made? Okay, how many points would I have made? Visitors.
200.
Okay, 2 points.
Oh,
Exactly.
what do you mean 2
So I
points?
bought it 27.67.50. I sell it for 29. I made 2 points. So how much money is that if I'm trading one contract? Well, you go one contract. You always multiply your contracts by what? $50. Right? Exactly. And then times 2, I would have made $100. So in this trade, the worst I can do is make $100. My target is set up here at 27.76.50, which is 67 minus 76 is 9 points. Okay, so the best I can do is 9 points. So if I have one contract times $50 times 9, what is that? Oh, am I 2 digits off?
No, you're 200.
Oh, I thought it was, it's 78. Oh, excuse me. You're right. Gotta put my glasses on. So it's actually, this target price up here is 27.78. So 27.78 minus 27.67 is what, 11? Yeah. So thanks, Dave. So Dave corrected me there. I just misread my chart. So times 11. How much money is that? One contract times $50 times 11. $550, right? So the worst I can do right now is make $100, and the best I can do right now is to make $550. Let me change that a little bit. I'm gonna move my stop up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna move it up. Doggone it. That was my limit order. I keep doing that. You think even a monkey learns better than me? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna move this up to 27. There you go. I'm gonna move this up to 4 points. So if I've got a 4-point gain here, what's the worst I can do? $200. Let me make sure I got it 4 points. 1, 2, 3. I do 4 points. So the worst I can do is $200. And oh, see this price dropping, bouncing around? And then my limit order, I'm going to set my limit order up a little bit more. There we go. There you go. So we can see. So the worst I can do right now is $200, and the best I can do is it's moved on up there. Okay. And I'm just going to leave it for a little while so you can guys kind of see here. Bruce, we don't think of it in terms this way. So Bruce says, what does a contract cost? Okay. The contract costs my cost basis. In this case, my contract costs, what did I get in at? My buy price, which is $2,767.50. Okay, 2,767.50. That's the cost basis, right? But we don't pay that. Okay, that's what happens when we buy. Okay, so this is our cost basis when I buy. Okay, then when I sell, okay, when I sell, let's say I sold right now at 27.7650, 27.76.50. All right. I subtract the two. I look for the difference. Okay. So the difference is, in this case, get my calculator out so we can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I take my sell price, 2776.5. I subtract my buy price, 2767.5. Strike, and that's 9 points. Okay. I don't say $9. We're talking points. So I bought it at this many points. I sell it at that many points, and then I make the difference, which if I sold it right now would be 9 points. Then we take the points, right? Well, we take the number of contracts I'm trading, which is one contract. I multiply that by what? $50, and then I multiply that times the number of points. In this case, this is 9, and then I get what I would make, which is $450 if I sold right now. Right? Now, what did that cost me? It cost me $5 per contract. So this would have cost me $5. So my profit would have been not $450, but $445. Now let me see where I'm at now. Okay, I'm going to adjust it.
Since 4:30.
Okay. I'm going to bring my,
Eight trades.
I'm going to put my
You would have won
limit
6
price
of
way
them
up.
for 75%.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm going to move it up a few more.
So it's 3,
I'm going to move my stop
Since
price up.
4:30.
oh, 4:30.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And it's not available for
You gotta go to
the
London.
market.
No, not London,
That's stupid.
not London.
Keep not clicking on it.
Europe
There we
is
go.
3, right?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. I'm going to move my stop price up. And I'm going to move my limit price up. Okay? Got it. But my limit price.
Or something.
What's wrong with me this morning? Even a moron could
Yeah, that's what it is.
trade.
Trade all day or all night or whatever.
Okay, if I were to get out right now, from what I hear, that if I were to get out right now to make $600, since I've been talking to you this morning.
Right, yesterday was.
This is the potential, and this is what you learn to do. Okay, that's it, my friend. Okay, now, the broker fee
Look at this.
for your
I
broker
was in that trade.
is probably $4.50, somewhere in that area, $4.50. Some people say $4.40. Everybody has a different price,
Yeah,
but we just call it $5 just to make it
You can't
easy.
even say what
Right?
it- that was way too
So at one contract,
way too fast.
yeah, that was fast.
okay. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look at what I did. I'm trading one contract, and right now, if I were to sell,
But
right this
it's
second,
interesting how
I would
Doc
make
makes it so
$600. It's fluctuating back and forth. But I would make $600.
What, $600 so far?
If I had been trading two contracts instead, what would I be making right now?
I think he wants to trade.
Actually not, John. Don't get ahead of me. That's actually, yes,
Well, it
but
seems
no,
like he does.
John. Your inference from that will actually kill you.
He's-
So what would I make if I was trading two contracts right now and got out?
to show people.
Let's assume it just stays at $600, so we're not like chasing it around.
Chart.
$1,200.
No one cried and said,
Now,
I'm discouraged.
let's say I've been trading for 2 years, 3 years, and I'm trading at 10
I
contracts.
don't know, we can expect.
What would I be making right now? 6,000. Okay, what about 20 contracts? Go ahead, visitors, tell me. Right now, if I'd be in 20 contracts instead of one, how much money would I have made this morning? $12,000. Exactly. This particular trading ladder, I can trade up to 3 contracts. Why don't I do that all the time? Because our ratios are always the same.
Pussy.
So the genius that you don't know, that everybody else in the world who's traders knows, okay? So even if you've been trading before, is that what we do is we keep all of our ratios, all of our risk ratios on our portfolios the same. So it doesn't matter if you're trading one contract or 80, your ratios are going to be the same And so I trade one contract because whenever I trade 20 contracts with people, and I do that sometimes, I'll trade 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, whatever. When I do that, I make $4,000 a trade, and you make $200 a trade. It makes you want to start to learn to do that too quickly. So it's a bad emotional thing. It gives you motivation, yeah, but it's not a good thing for you to learn by, because you're like, damn, he just made 4,000 and I just made 200. But your ratios are the same. If you make, so for example, let me show you what I'm talking about, ratios. If I make $200 with one contract, I have a $3,000 account. So my return ratio, or my return ratio would be 200 divided by 3,000. It's 6.67%. If I'm trading
Over here, you're hunting and fishing.
20 contracts, or let's just say 10 contracts, and I make
I think
$2,000.
it's just, maybe it's
Trade
more
10 contracts, I have to have a $30,000 account,
different parts of
right?
the country.
I know it.
So
'Cause I mean,
my
not
ROI
casinos as much. Well, I mean, there's casinos here.
is 6.67%. 67%, right?
During the
If I'm
expansion
trading
of the West, there wasn't a whole lot.
40 contracts,
Like,
right?
Stay in an
And
air-conditioned room.
I'm gonna do an ROI on 40 contracts. And this one up here is on 10, this one's up here on 1.
When was it?
40
First
contracts,
expansion.
Yeah.
right?
When was the air
And
conditioning then?
I make $8,000 for 40 contracts, okay? Trade 40 contracts, I gotta have 40 times 3,000.
When I was a kid.
I have to have $120,000 in the account.
I think I was in my teens.
On books.
seeing my
You don't
window.
actually have to have that, and I don't want you to have that. Okay? I want you to take your money out. But if I go 8 divided by 120, again, 6.67%. So the genius in what we do
Well, have you seen
is
that movie,
we trade
Million Ways to
the
Die in
same
the West?
ratio all the time, so that the person
I've seen a,
making the one contract trade is putting in the same effort as the person making the 40
That one funny guy.
contract trade.
You watch the Orville.
There are some little nuances,
Seth Rogen.
okay,
Okay.
when you're trading 40 contracts,
Yeah, right.
and there's ways of handling it.
And that
That's why trading
wrong,
is a long-term endeavor, right? You want to join a group and be with it for like forever. Because when you go from zero contracts, which is your simulator, to one contract, there are things to learn about that transition.
I remember it when they were doing marketing.
And if you don't learn them, your transition is not going to be good. And I'm not going to be telling you those things until you're ready, because you'll be trying to do those things too early. Okay? When you go from 1 to 2 contracts, which is the hardest thing to do, actually, there are things to learn. When you go from 2 to 5 contracts, there are things to learn. When you go to 10 contracts, there are things to learn. When you go from 10 to 15 to 20 contracts, can anybody tell you what I'm going to say? There are things to learn. When you go to 40 contracts, there are some entirely new things to learn. When you're at 100 contracts, there are even more new things to learn. Okay? Your ratios are always going to be the same, but the way that you enter and exit trades are going to be different. And so there's going to be some things to learn every step along the way. So people who get in, they trade for a while, they get successful, then they leave the group. It's the stupidest thing they could do. They're leaving a lot of money on the table. They're leaving a lot of money on the table. The annual cost of staying in our group after you've joined, and your annual cost right now is $7,200. That's going to be going up, actually, significantly, because I'm going to be selling the signal, right? And that may be separate, right? This, at 20 contracts, is less than 2 winning trades. So it's actually pretty cheap. But it's the difference between magnitudes. It's magnitudes of difference with what you make in the market. So there's always things to learn as you go on. I have people here that that have been here several years, and every day they learn stuff. Okay, so that's for new people. That's what we do. Either you want to learn how to do it and you want to put in the time, energy, and money to learn it, or you don't. Anybody can do it. It's actually pretty darn simple. So my whole point here is what? I'm confused. Huh? Don't be. The point is simple. Your return on investment is the same, and whether I'm trading one contract or 20, it doesn't matter. If I have mentors that come on here and trade on their sim, it doesn't matter. Because if you're doing the same trade, you're going to get the same result return-wise. That's the genius of what we do. That's the absolute genius of what we do and how we train. Okay? All right. So I've got people asking me questions while I'm talking. You wouldn't do that in a regular class, right? So you usually wait until somebody's done talking and then you ask them questions. So I've got 300 people here to manage. Love questions, gonna get to them, but I'm saying if I missed your question, it's because I'm talking and showing things and not reading your questions yet. I will always stop and ask, hey, are there any questions? And then don't pile up on me. If you see somebody put in a question, I start to answer it, don't talk over them and chat, okay? So we run this as if I was standing in front of a classroom, because I used to be a professor. I'm standing in front of a classroom, two people can't talk at the same time, right? And you'll see that when I'm giving lessons, you'll see other people chatting about other stuff. And sometimes I ask them to quit. Sometimes they're answering people's questions while I'm talking. Sometimes I allow it. Sometimes I want people to quit. So I'm not being mean when I ask one of my members, hey, let me answer that question. I'll answer it. Don't answer them. Let me do it. It's because it gets distracting, or at that time. Sometimes I let them, and it's really cool. So I like that they do it. But sometimes I go, hey, stop. So it's not. I'm not being a jackass. It's just I have a lot of people to manage in a group, so we want to kind of manage a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the chat so that you realize, hey, I didn't see your questions as they were popping up, but I did see some chatter. All right, so I talked about, let me recap what I talked about here. So we have a cost basis of every trade that we take, the buying price and the selling price. You subtract the buying price from the selling price, and that's your profit. And we express that in points. And then we take the number of contracts that we're trading, multiply it times 50, multiply it times the point we just made. And then we take out a brokerage fee of $5 per contract. That's it. And I said, it's really cool. I'm trading one contract here, making $1 here. And I'm going to bring up my 277.5. 277.5. I'm going to bring up my stop prices here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I used to have houses and apartment buildings.
I'm going to bring this price up. Doggone it. I did it again. I made the same mistake about 10 times. Say, 77.5. Oh, I can't see because I made that mistake. I screwed it. So
it's good money. It's a very
I'm going to bring my stop price up so you can see when the price comes down and hits it, it's going to get me out. It'll probably get me out at about 475. Well, there it goes. 475. So that little trade I was in, I made $475 on that trade. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this DOM, and we're going to do an actual trade here in a little bit. Okay, but that's how a trade
come in at
get rid of
around
this DOM. Okay. So then I explained, hey, it doesn't matter if we're trading one contract, 10 or 20 or 40 or 100 or none. The return is the exact same, right? So those are the concepts that I just talked about. Now, you don't know how to trade, that's okay. Those are the concepts that I just talked about. Any questions so far about anything that I talked about, or anything that struck you as I was talking? Okay, questions.
I walked into one of the apartments and please.
But if you were talking earlier, I didn't see it. I apologize. It's just that I'm not. I got a lot going on, and I
we did it once or twice.
I don't know who asked questions or what you asked or anything.
They were walking.
Dogs.
It was, I don't even know how those people lived there.
And maybe I explained the
And that
question,
took like 4 of these.
maybe I explained the answer already. I don't know.
That place was just, I don't think a human could live there.
There's just dogs living there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very well said, Gary. Very well said. Very well said. It is a business that, here's the amazing thing about trading. Okay? Disclaimer, federal disclaimer right now. Trading is very, very risky. Okay? Driving on the road is very risky. You know how many people I know that have been killed in car accidents? Very risky. Okay? Very risky. And I'm just running up to the store. I had a friend of mine. I'm just running up to the store. I don't need to wear my helmet. He was in a hospital for like a month. Okay? He was check this out. My friend was a professional motocross racer in the early 80s. We raced motocross together. Late 70s, actually. And then like to 81, I think. It was before I went off into the military. We raced motorcycles, and he was a professional class motorcycle racer. He got on his bike to just go up to the store. Just go up to the Circle K. I'm gonna run up Circle K real quick. Didn't put on his helmet. He was just going up like a block and a half or something. And he got in a really bad car. The car hit him. You know, most, they always say, most deadly accidents happen, a mile away from home, close to home, right? A lot of deadly, because that's where most driving takes place. Okay. So naturally, that's probably the case. Most accidents happen close to home. That's where most driving takes place. The further you go, the less driving takes place. So just let's think about it like humans for a minute. Kind of makes sense, right? And I don't know the statistics. I'm not a traffic expert, but that's what I hear, and it kind of makes sense. Okay? So the nice thing about what we do is it's a business that there's risk there when you don't know what you're doing, and people treat it like gambling, and you can't treat it like gambling. You have to follow the rules, okay, and learn the rules, and then be disciplined for the rules. It is totally scalable. Totally scalable. And the 90% of the rules,
Thank God I'm not paralyzed.
I just throw that number out there arbitrarily, but I would have to say probably about 90% of the rules are going to apply to whether you're trading one contract, 10 or 20. Okay, totally scalable. There's no inventory, there's no employees, there's no, you know what I mean? On and on and on and on. Your cost is your risk. There are, every company, okay, and we're going to talk about business paradigm shifts, maybe not today, but maybe a little bit, okay? There are paradigm shifts. There are things that millionaires and billionaires do that other people don't. And one is the way they think about money, okay? They think about money. It's the way they think about money. They don't think about money in terms of monetary value. They think about money in terms of purchase power, which is kind of monetary value, but not the way other people think about money. They think about what can I buy with this that I have. If they hold real estate and they're using some real estate trading, then real estate is their money. If they have yen, if they have euros, if they have dollars, whatever, they're not really concerned with those items, only what those items can buy. They could have a sack of salt. They're trading seashells or salt or whatever, or gold, right? All they care about is the purchasing power. What can that buy me and what can I leverage? And they pair up, they do pairings of what, like maybe they pair money with real estate, right? How much money how much real estate can this money buy me? When I sell this real estate, how much money do I get? So they have these pairings. So we have market pairings. And they learn about market pairing because different market pairings increase in value at different ratios. I'm not going to get into economics 500 with you, but they operate on a higher level and a different level. So they think about money differently. Okay? And so when we're talking about the advantage of the scalability of what we do, the fact that we don't have inventory, all of these kinds of things. This makes the trading business a very lucrative business. Some people go to school and they go, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Somebody I know
I'm going to be a nurse's,
had a harness.
a nursing assistant, and I'm going to go to a little technical college, and I'm going to spend 2 years there, or 18 months, or whatever it is they spend. And they're going to spend $25,000 to do that. They get out, and what does that equal? That equals a $12.50 job an hour. A lot of money, $25K for some of these little technical schools. Not a lot of upside. I'm going to be a hairdresser, right? I'm going to get out of school. Now, you can progress, but I'm talking about the starting point. You can get out of cosmetology school or barber school, and maybe you spent nine to, I don't know what it costs now, $9,000 to $12,000.
I don't know if I was.
Then you get a job at Supercuts. I'm not saying Supercuts is good or bad, and I don't even know if it's one word or two. I don't care.
Oh.
I don't have to worry about things like that these days.
Hopes and dreams.
Okay.
Just talking about that
Right.
horse. I got that horse in my backyard. My sister's got a horse.
Let's
Cowboy.
talk about Supercuts for a second.
They breed like purebreds that come from champions.
I don't have to worry about things like those these days, right? so I'm not worried about getting my hair cut. So I don't know if Supercuts is one word or two, but
Yeah, I was watching the
But
show.
I do know to be a cosmetologist, I mean, you're gonna have to go to school. You're gonna have to spend, 9 months there. I think on average, I think that's what it is, 9 months.
And how
You get your time in,
And they have
enough
these
hours to actually
specialized
take your boards and then cut
containers
hair.
that they go
And you're gonna get out,
into,
you're
and
gonna make a certain amount of money. And you're kind of capped as what you can do until you get enough experience, enough clientele that you can go and rent your own chair at a shop, and then maybe you buy your own shop and have a bunch of space where you can rent the chair space out to other cosmetologists
I mean, he said it cost him.
and barbers, whatever you do, and build your own
That
business.
horse cost
And
him
now you're-
something like
Now you're limited by when they show up to work. They don't show up to work. The clients that you had, they now steal inventory, insurance, all these things that are cost.
daughter Laney getting
So we're talking about
awesome.
purchasing power and cost in the paradigm that millionaires use to think about things.
Yeah, I don't
There
think
are
I
costs
would say
to trading.
that much richer than
Okay.
me, but
You have your biggest
it's
cost
funny. I mean,
are
this is
your
all within the
trade
last 2.5 years.
losses. That's your biggest cost.
Laney,
The money you're going to
I
lose trading.
remember Laney being
Because you're going to lose
got into points.
if you follow what we do
Horse.
exactly to the T and you make your goals. You will lose 40 to 50%
So
of
he
your
said it
trade.
was 1,400.
How can I make money losing 50% of my trades? Believe me, if you lost 50% of your trades, the way we trade, you will not only make a lot of money, you will change the life, you change your legacy. Okay? So trade losses is your number one cost.
I think the video
Okay.
that I thought was
Number
the
two
most
cost.
interesting.
Broker fees.
That he had for homework was that
Or
guy talking
broker
about that
fees, they should be
transfer.
brokers, because that's what they do.
I only had to increase his
Broker fees.
percentage.
We take all the risk and they break in all the cash, right? Your brokers, like lawyers, right? Okay. A good lawyer will help you out. Okay, trade losses, broker's fees. The next thing are taxes. Most of what you do is going to be about tax, long-term capital gains at about 25%. Believe me, when you're making $1 million, you'd rather pay 25% than 39%. Trust me on that one. Or what is it? What do the kids say now? Trust and believe. The long-term, that 25% that you're paying the government will be welcomed with open arms. Because the difference is huge. Because if you're in a 39% tax bracket, the other thing is you're not paying corporate tax, all the other tax structures that you need to pay. So the taxes are actually pretty good. Now, I am not your attorney. I am not giving you tax advice. I'm not your accountant. I'm not your financial planner. I'm not any of that stuff. I'm not giving you financial advice. Even when we call trades and stuff here, I'm not giving you trading advice. We have a process that we learn for you to learn how to trade. That is a liability issue. Okay, just the way we have to think. But use your head.
Yeah,
I'm
my
telling you what to
cousin
go
knows
research,
the damn thing.
pointing you in the right direction.
Yeah, my uncle
Okay.
has a
So I'm not your tax advisor, I'm not your accountant, I'm not your CPA, I'm not your attorney.
Champagne.
But I can say, if you wanna go look,
Really?
Steady.
Champagne?
Whatever. So these are the big costs,
And he races.
because I'm talking about
Oh,
cost.
okay, so you're already at your inside.
What is cost in
And I
business?
was looking at champagne.
What is cost in business? I'm gonna do this. What is it called?
I've got a crime.
Okay?
Champagne?
Cost equals risk. And risk equals cost.
What kind of crime?
Cost equals risk and risk
Crime
equals cost.
passion?
Yeah.
Okay?
Shit.
So
I'd rather.
an accountant's job is to help you limit risk,
I guess I
right?
could
Help you limit costs. Keep track of your costs. Well, an accountant's really job is to help you control your risk. That's an accountant's job. Okay? Now, in order to do that, they have to keep track of stuff, and that's called, keeping your books. right? But the accounting, or you have to account for things,
What is
okay?
that? Is it just
Okay,
called
so-
Overton Heights or?
There we go.
Right.
So these are your costs involved. So we're talking about scalability. It is, Gary, you're right, totally scalable. Okay, Lisa got her question answered. Up on two wheels. Mike, are ES futures available in regular brokerage accounts? You've got a lot of subjective terminology there that, let me try to interpret that. Regular brokerage accounts. Regular-
There is a
Kind of regular brokerage account. You don't know what you mean by regular.
Southeast Georgia,
Um,
I think he's far, I think we discussed someone's like.
Every market has its own brokerage rules, regulations, availability with different firms. Are you talking about firms? Because if you're talking about accounts and you have a stock account, no, you can't trade futures with a stock account. Now, if you're talking about the firm that you have a stock account with, they might offer a futures account. So the literal answer to your question is no. Why would they?
Yeah, and I've
You
got
can't have
some
futures available in
notifications
an
that-
options account, or futures
Notification.
available in a gold account, or futures, right? But I think what you mean is,
Like he's buying.
if I start something with, TD
And I'm
Ameritrade,
gonna check.
can I trade the ES, right? A brokerage firm who handles different types of accounts.
So now, why didn't we get a
Mostly, yes,
green ball?
most of your big firms will handle that. We like to use specialty firms like Transact, and the reason we like to use specialty firms like Transact
Right.
is because they provide us with a data feed for free when we have an active account. They are a discount broker
So it
account. In other
goes
words, you're not
down
calling
a
them for advice.
We'll have
Yeah,
a green
it'd be-
ball.
Brokers
Then that,
have
this
people
would be the
who
green ball,
give you
right?
advice and guide you
So
and things like
because
that. And Transact, they're not there to, they're just there to make sure your brokerage account works.
Right.
So we have what's called, a discount brokerage fee or discount fees. And some accounts, or not some accounts, some firms allow you to have managed accounts where they're paying you money to manage these accounts and they're giving you advice to go into accounts. And others, the same firm will offer you discount accounts so they can compete in the discount market space. You see, these firms are smart. What you might call the regular firms are
That's a
smart.
lot of them.
They know that you're too stupid to go out there and trade for yourself and make money, that you're just gonna lose money. And they know why you do that. You do that because you read crap on the internet or see stuff on YouTube that looks
Yeah,
good,
I didn't say it.
looks like it makes sense, but you're not educated or
I
experienced enough to
didn't say
understand what you're doing. You don't even understand the basics. And 95% of the people that come in here who have traded before for many years, I can tear them up one side down the other. And either they're smart and they go, oh, this guy knows this space.
I don't see
The
clicks
space
on
that
the
I
link.
know is very small, but I know it well. And I'm a brain surgeon in that space. I'm not a general practitioner. I'm a brain surgeon. You want to come to me and talk about your achy foot and the little corn and the little bunion on your foot? I can't tell you much about it, except, little experience I have, right? But if you want to talk about brain surgery, we can go real deep, okay? So that's it, right? I've just used a medical analogy to trading. But what I specialize in is what all the billionaires do. and how they work. And it's a very small area because there's nobody out there teaching it, nobody out there specializing. Well, I could go give online training academy or some other place, you know, for $50,000. But what they do isn't what we do. We teach people how to trade and make money, how to manage their risk, what those risks are, you know, and these principles can be applied to everything because we learn about basic business. So, do regular brokerage accounts? Sure, they handle it. Why would you ask that question? I don't know why you ask that question. So you need to talk to your representative about the reason you asked that question. That's not a question you would ask unless you have another account that you're wondering, or whether you're going to go shopping for accounts, or maybe it was just random thought, curiosity. Who knows? Whatever that reason is, talk to your representative here about it, because it could be very vital to your trading career and your trading future. And I don't want you to go out there and do stupid. I don't care if you join our group or not. I don't want people who don't want to learn how to. I don't want people who don't want to really spend the time to learn, but you know, the Bill Gates of the world and how they handle money. Okay, if that doesn't interest you, well, then your place. Okay, and you can get there for a small amount and grow it. Start small and you grow big. But that takes time, it takes patience, it takes understanding your risks. Okay. All right. So are ES futures available in a regular brokerage account? I tried to answer that best of my ability. Let me get through these other questions, Mike, and then you can do a follow-up question. How about that? Cheryl, at one point your stop was at a gain of $600. When you sold, you were at $400. What happened to cause the difference? Well, I don't think that my stop was at $600 at one time. My gain may have been there, but not my stop.
So,
unless I'm
Oh, there
mistaken.
you
If I'm
go.
did
mistaken,
you,
let me know. At one
did you
time,
ask for Georgia,
my
or did
entry
you
price
go on
was someplace. I'm
specific?
just marking randomly on Tom. Okay, and then my stop was at someplace, and then the price,
when you got
the
your
current
price?
price was at $600,
I gave them all. the
Right?
choices.
but I didn't get out at the
Oh,
current
really?
price. The price went down to my stop.
Oh,
I don't think that what you said in your thing, Cheryl, is literally accurate. Right? Don't worry about it anyway. I'm going to do a couple example trades.
For a purpose.
I made enough
he said.
money that I can give some money away doing a couple stupid things to show you. Okay? What's going on, but I don't think that that statement is entirely accurate. It may be. I may have moved my stop and moved it down. I don't think so.
Well, I guess we're
I
not
think
a
I would have
purpose.
remembered it, and it would have been an accident if I did. You know, and I moved it back. But I think maybe you were either looking at my price
Of course.
or you were looking at my gain stop. But I don't think you were looking at my stop. I don't think I had my stop set at $600 profit at any given time. Okay. So the basis of your question is
Transact
correct.
isn't working.
So the question can't
Yeah, that
really be
is
answered. So, and so I think those are the two things that may have tricked you there, but that's okay. You're not here to learn how to do that in one day. You know, you're here to see about our own.
Aw, man.
Not all
Thing
of
knocked me off.
accounts
It
allow
knocked me
futures
off
trading.
the.
Ray, you worded that incorrectly, Ray. Not all brokerage accounts allow futures trading. Futures accounts allow futures trading.
I think
period.
when my internet
Now,
failed,
not
it
all
knocked
brokerage
me off of
firms have
Transact.
futures
Yeah,
accounts.
that's what happened to me yesterday.
Do you see the difference? Let's be careful about how we word things. So, small correction, meaning is kind of the same, but it's not. Okay, and you're liable for when you make statements, because the opposite of not all brokerage accounts allow futures trading is some accounts allow futures trading, and the only accounts that allow futures trading are futures trading accounts. The law. Okay, so let's be accurate in the way that we have to reframe the question. The question was asked poorly with a bad underpinning, and so we had to reframe it to be accurate. Okay, which is going to be the case, because if you're a visitor and you've never future traded before, you don't know what to ask or how to ask it, right? So don't get butthurt about the corrections. If that hurts your feelings, trading won't be for you, because your feelings are going to be hurt a lot worse. The market isn't too kind, right? And when I'm talking about this stuff, neither am I. I'm not here to make footsie friends. I'm here to help people manage risk. And you don't want a pussy cat helping you manage risk. You want a damn tiger or a lion helping you manage risk. So, and if you get upset about some of the things we talk about in here because it doesn't match your political viewpoints, we don't ask you to change your political viewpoints. We ask you to grow some, we ask you to grow up, put on your big boy and big girl panties.
You
have to be a little
are
thick skinned.
so politically incorrect with cojones.
That's a teaching style that I picked up in the military. That's how I do it. Other people do it differently. I'm effective with some people I'm not effective with. That's okay. My personality doesn't match theirs. But it's not a personality.
Cojones. Oh,
You're talking about a market here that's going to take your money and then slap you around with it. And my job is to prepare you for that kind of risk and prepare you for appropriate reactions to handle your money okay. And I can't wait to get to a trade over here. Let me get through these questions. So, Ray, Mike, thank you very much, Mike, for thanking Ray.
so I'm wondering if Clifton Baker
And
is
like I said, there's a little nuance to
or
it that we just tweaked. And that's okay.
I've seen his
But you
name
get the
for
point
quite a
either
while,
way.
though.
But I wanted to correct that nuance because it does matter.
So how did you get?
Well, it doesn't really matter. It's really the same. You really said the same thing. Well, absolutely. Till you go to a court of law.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And then
talk
you
to
didn't say
Rob
the same
tonight.
thing. So let's be careful. But thank you, Ray, for answering the question, and thank you, Mike,
Oh,
for
yeah,
being
so you gotta be ready for them all, don't you?
let me see.
Why are you making that face?
Oh, Jerry says his stop never was above 400. The dog showed 600. Okay, so Jerry actually was answering, I don't even remember whose question it was, Cheryl's question. Okay, so Jerry had already answered your question. I hadn't got down that far yet. He adjusted the wrong field by accident. Shane says that was true too.
So how you doing?
I don't know if Shane's response directly related to Cheryl's question in terms of the dollar value, but that was true too. So that was one of my possible things as well. So you guys covered both of them. Isn't that amazing? Let me see. Okay, that was what I was wondering. Cheryl, thank you. Good conversations here today, guys and gals. Great stuff. All right. What about the cost of the feed or the Delta tracking?
That's the green one.
What about that cost for the Delta feed for Delta tracking? I'm working out the profitability scales.
He's telling you that you can.
There are some problems that are inherent to that. And let's talk about that. David, ask that toward the end of the session, and let's readdress that. Let me get to a couple of things right now. Let's address that cost and tell you what I'm working at. Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Right about
God.
the blue line is what your balance.
Listen, what part of GA are you in? Is that Georgia?
The green line is.
Is there anyone in this group in the Tampa Bay area? Well, we used to have advertising in the Tampa Bay area. So we have people that actually come up from Tampa that go to the Orlando, well, not the Orlando meetup.
Right.
That's
So what it's saying is you've had.
Jacksonville.
You started with this amount of $150.
So there are some people in that area there. And it's certainly worth your while to go, oh man.
Your actual investments.
I wanted to try to get in on something that shows some
That's what
trading.
money is.
We'll do that here in a minute. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about movements that we're missing out on. We didn't get an appropriate signal yet on those movements.
Now, what's the value?
I'm not,
of
let me look at that.
assets? And what I'm saying is
Movement.
the difference is what
Because
Donovan.
of this little green ball right there, that green candlestick right there screwed us up. That's okay. We had a beautiful situation there that some people may have taken, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Trades under 30 days are a wash according to my accountant, and you cannot take those losses. Guess what? Your accountant doesn't know what he's talking about. Fire him and get a different accountant that knows about futures trading.
Man, it's just going up, going up, going up.
That is incorrect information. Now, I'm not your accountant, I'm just saying, I've been doing this for 30 years. Trades under 30 days are wash according to my accountant, and you cannot take those losses. Your accountant, either you misunderstood your accountant, or your accountant misunderstood your question, or you have an accountant that shouldn't be giving you futures advice. Very poor, Mike, very poor. Now, there's no nice way to say it. I'm not here to say it politically correct. I want you to have correct information that is inaccurate
I don't even think he knows what questions.
in our circumstance.
That's why he's bringing up whatever he knows about trading.
What did you ask? See, I'm not going to go through all the nuances, but what did you ask your accountant? Did you say, hey, I'm thinking about day trading, and you went from that range? Totally different than futures trading. Don't answer the question. I don't care. I don't want to know. But I'm saying for futures trading, that's incorrect. So you just gave 300 people incorrect information based on your accountant talking, based on what we do. So that's incorrect. It is correct in certain circumstances that, but here has nothing to do with what we do. You take trades, every single trade has a cost basis, every single trade has an exit. Your broker adds up those, and at the end of the year, he gives you a statement that tells you how much money you won or how much money you lost. You can only apply losses to that year against other things to a certain amount, right? And then it has to be amortized over other years, which on a personal basis is a ridiculously low amount. And if you take a big loss in 1 year, you'll never get that money back the rest of your life in terms of writing it off and whatever. But every single loss you take is taken against the gain, every one of them, okay? And you are not holding a trade for 30 days anyway. You're holding a trade for 2 hours or an hour or 10 minutes or whatever. So even the concept doesn't even really make any sense, because all of your trades, 100% of them, unless you do something outside the parameters of what we do, like you get in a contract, I'm going to hold this thing for 30 days, right? Which you wouldn't do that because it's not what we do. All of your trades are going to be for under 30 days, right? But yet, we're dealing with long-term capital gains, the way it's calculated. How does that work? Ask riddle your accountant that, okay? I can't help it if your accountant's a brother-in-law or somebody you love. That's inaccurate information. All right, for what we do, okay? And not, it's just not appropriate or applicable to what we do. Okay, I kicked that dead horse, but I want you to realize that. All apples are fruit. Is a plastic apple fruit? I don't know. I've seen guys try to eat plastic stuff on tables before. It doesn't work out too well. How much trading has your accountant done? Uh-oh. So I see somebody attacking your accountant. Let's not attack his accountant. Let's just say that that information is inaccurate, and we have a little bit of learning to do. Okay, the futures account question. No problem. A few people in the Tampa area. Yes, David. Okay, David Ward took a trade here, 11 o'clock. He went short at 2778 and 27S5. It is a forced trade. By forced trade, it means he's doing some homework, okay? And you wouldn't be taking this trade. He's doing his homework, which is designed for what he does, okay? And this is a
James
homework trade.
Redding, St. Mary's, Georgia.
How's that dog working for you? I got to look at 11 o'clock here. You went short at 2778 at 11 o'clock. You went short at 2778 at 11 o'clock. Then you would have had a 60% green ball. Am I reading that correctly? If this candlestick,
What's that? He is?
okay, folks, something just goofy happened. I just lost my mouse. Hang on for a second, folks.
So now we've seen James Reedy and Clifton Baker. Why were they not on the list?
There we go. Got my mouse back. Let me check my DOM. make sure I didn't get into some crazy trade, something like that. Check my other DOM, which I shouldn't have open.
It's a cloud checker.
Okay, there we go. All right, one of these. Okay, okay. All right. So if this, okay, what the heck is going on with my? Okay, so if this candlestick right here had been blue, okay, we would have a green ball right here, and we would be basically in a long trade. And I think he was now mind you, there's a 2-point scale here, so this is he would have been in up here at this trade, and he
I've heard a
decided to
lot
go
of
short
the
right here.
politicians.
That was a judgment call on Dave's part based on what the hell's been going on the last few days. But he was guessing there.
Whoever's in
Now, I'm not going to argue with his guessing because he's been guessing pretty damn accurate. And there's a reason why he did it. I don't know all the reasons, but we did have, with his,
I'm assuming having some type
the timing, what's been going on, that was probably a brilliant trade, but I wouldn't suggest that particular trade to me. So you may have taken kind of a pretty brilliant trade there. Not probably working out so well for him right now, but let's go ahead. Green ball.
You know,
Okay, so
I'm not
Leslie
in a position
talked
to
to
just-
Mike.
I mean, the only thing I can think of with.
So
talking
say you need to
about
educate
that
your
is,
accountant. So we're all on the same page here. I'm glad I did.
Since there's
Every
really
now and then
no
I'll read something, I'll go
numbers,
up on a tangent, and then I see a new piece of information. Lord, I just made an idiot of myself, but I think
Because
we're
right
okay.
now, if I look at my Vanguard
Going on
account,
there.
if I would have had
Okay,
my
you got out.
stocks in,
I'm trying to
I
get
think
you
when I
from chat.
last looked, if I wouldn't have had my
Looks
stocks
like
in,
I'm all caught
I
up.
would be negative.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how we
But now that I
how
have
we
my
take a trade.
stocks in, to me, that's
I'm going to
great.
trade one contract. I'm going to
I've
buy
made
at market, and I'm going to set my stops at 4 and 3.
Right,
okay.
or like you said,
At 4 and
take
3.
out
So
for investments in
typically,
something
what we
like,
would do is this
you
price is
know,
going up.
Mexican
We would wait
steel.
for it to come down for a discount. Let's take a look over here. The price
So,
went up,
yeah,
came down for a
if it
discount.
was personal
It was
interest,
rejected. We
or-
could have had a ball right there. We didn't because the charts just, there was a little bit of fluctuation there that kept everybody out, but it would have been a
It should be
beautiful
talking
trade,
to
made
these
money.
people,
just in a few minutes.
representatives and saying,
But we didn't get a
"Get
ball,
involved in it."
so we don't take that trade. You'll notice down here, since we've been on, we haven't really had any balls,
Approaches, right?
while we would have 4 things that we evaluate: trend, retracement, cloudy stop, and headroom.
Say what?
So we always evaluate trend, retracement, cloudy stop, and headroom. That's on our list from earlier. So, but nevertheless, I'm going to take a trade that nobody should be in, okay? And I'm going to take this trade and I'm going to buy at market. I'm going to click buy market. I'm in a trade. You'll notice immediately when I got in the trade, I was a 1/4 point down. That's because of the slippage. Just boom, immediately I'm down, right? When I take a trade, just get used to it. That's going to happen like most of the time, like 80, 90% of the time. Okay? Now, I took the trade. I have 2 targets. One is up here at +4. The one here is at -3. I'm in one contract. So I take one contract, I multiply it times $50, I multiply that times 4 points, and I get $200. So my target up here is $200. My target loss is $150. Now, I don't get butthurt when it goes down and hits me out at $150 because that's where I set my risk. I said, if I lose $150, I don't want to lose any more money in this particular trade. That's it. No more money in this trade if I lose $150. That's it. Okay? So I set that risk level. So when it hits that risk level, and if it hits that risk level exactly, a lot of times, that means I'm setting my risk level correctly, not incorrectly. And people try to fix that. And they're trying to fix things that aren't broke. So if you had a brick wall that's perfectly level, right? And you put a little stone on the top of that brick wall, okay? Let me show you how incredibly insane this is. And I'm going to use an analogy that nobody's ever heard before me use. Let's say you are a mason. That's not a very good brick wall, is it? Okay, let me do this. Let me draw a better brick wall. How about that? There you go. Brick wall. Perfect brick wall. Okay? It's a perfect brick wall. And you place a little stone on that brick wall. And then you set your wine glass on that stone. And you spill wine all over the brick wall. And you go, wow, I need to do something about that. But you don't notice that little stone. And so you try to fix that. And you fix it by tearing out the brick wall. And the next brick wall that you replace it with is level on the top, right? Then kind of goes like that. Your brick wall was perfect. And then you changed it because of an observation that you made up here. And you messed up your perfect brick wall. That's what people do psychologically with trades. They start hitting their stops, and then they want to adjust them. When you adjust your stops, you're trying to fix a temporary problem with a permanent solution when your permanent solution was perfect. Your long-term solution was perfect anyway. And if you change it, you're going to mess up your money management. So what we have is we have a brick wall here called the D123 with a G4 S3 trade, and we learn money management. And that's our brick wall, right? And then when things happen, you focus on what's happening, and then you go and you start messing with this stuff. You're messing with the only thing that you have that's stable. Then you get certain results, and then your mind starts trying to put in the pieces and make things work. Our minds, I was talking to Rob yesterday with a couple other members of the group, and I wanted to train them about what they're going to run across with certain types of homework with people, where they tell you they go from A to Z, right? And then you, as the mentor, you fill in these blanks. Stop it. You got to stop that person and say, look, listen, answer my question exactly the way that I asked it. I don't want to hear the fluff. I don't want to hear all the other crap that goes with your answer. Yes or no, is this what happened? Well, when I first started, stop it. Right? And you have to take some traders and you almost have to have your hand around their neck because they want to give you A and B or A and Z, but all that stuff in the middle. And once you start assuming and you don't know where their goat's tied in the middle, what their thinking process is, then you'll miss the point of clarity in the homework that you gave, the purpose of the homework that you gave, because they'll change the purpose on you to fit their meaning or their paradigm of what they think they need to be looking at, So you give them a piece of homework and you say, well, when you get the answer, you're going to find an answer and that answer is going to be X. And their answer is actually X plus 2. And before they even talk to you, their mind's going, why don't you get X plus 2? And they're already so far off in the cosmos that when you talk to them, they're going to be trying to alter your meaning of that homework. See it happen here. The years, Rob has seen it. Everybody that's traded, they see it happen to new traders all the time. Keep that foundation and don't rock that foundation. Don't change that core. And then when you're mentoring and you're doing mentoring things, there's steps that you take, and you can't leave out those steps. You got to go to X to Y to Z. You can't leave out Y because that's the important step of their understanding, finding out where their goat's tied, and why that they're if you're giving homework and they're having a particular problem, right? Then you do that. Okay. So when I take this particular, I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna save it. When I took this trade right here, I entered this trade. I put in two targets, it's G and an S, right? The G4 S3. Pretty simple. If it hits the G, I make 4 points. If it hits the S, it's 3. I do not change it. Not as a new trader, I do not change it. Even as an advanced trader, I never have to change it. I never have to do that. today I wanted to keep my trade going, otherwise it would have been done really quick and my visitors wouldn't have time to see price action. So I changed it. I was lucky enough that it made a good amount of money. Kind of covered my loss from yesterday.
Man, look at that green
Okay.
ball
So
way at the top. It's like
now
Mount Everest.
I'm in another trade with a G4 S3. I could get out at any given time, but when I'm learning to trade, I don't want to do that because now I'm changing my foundation. I'm changing that brick wall based on anecdotal evidence that I've convinced myself is quite scientific. Right? Until you talk to me. You talk to me and I shatter your whole dream. And I go, no, let's relearn that. Because what you're talking about doesn't make sense. You know, people will just say things about the futures market, and unless they have experience in them, they don't know. Okay? People like George Soros. How did George Soros make it? How did George Soros make his billions? Doing what we're doing right here. Except he was in silver, that kind of thing. But it was the same concept. And he took some other things like trying to corner the market through the street, all this kind of stuff, right? But in the futures markets,
So,
when you think of the futures market, all you're doing is you're making a deal for the future. When you contract on a home and you do an option to buy, that is a futures
I
contract,
never heard of it.
right? You don't pay money to the person at the time except a little fee to entering into the contract. Okay. You know? So, you know, I'll give you $1,000 to have an option to buy your home at the end before the end of the year at this price, right? If the market goes down, then you go, I don't want to exercise my option. You can keep the home. If the market goes up, you purchase the home, you sell it at the price that you got it for, and you make the difference. That's a futures contract. That's what we're doing here. Okay? Except we don't take delivery on a home. We don't have anything to take delivery on. And that's another lesson. You'll learn about that in CAS, what it is. But the point is we're promising that we're going to pay a certain price, that price right there. We talk about it in terms of points, not dollars. We talk about it in terms of points, so that somebody who's trading yen, somebody who's trading euros, so like, you know, it's just points. You don't have to worry about anything. It's just points. We subtract the points and multiply it by our currency value and how the market moves. So every trade we take, we have a target and we have a loss. If you're successful, you're going to win between 40 and you're going to win between 50 and 60% of these particular trades. Okay, right? So I would not change my target because I'm talking, right? I am going to change my limit target. Well, no, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll, no, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave my limit here. I'm not sure to. I'm very tempted to change it so I can have a little more time to talk. But I'm going to leave it so you can see what happens in a regular trade. So this would be a regular trade. All right. Getting plastic surgery based on a circus mirror. Yes. Damn, I'm so thin today. I need to go have a cheeseburger. All right. We had some other stuff there. I don't know if I have any questions. Excuse me. So now, how do we trade? How do we trade? It's very simple. If you get out your rule sheet that everybody has, we may look for a trend. What's a trend right now? Well, this line right here is our 90-minute moving average. This is our trend line. It says things are going up. So we're going to buy. We already know that. We're looking for an opportunity to buy. But we don't want to buy at the top of the mark. We want it to give us a discount. So let's take a look at the only two places where that's actually happened today. One of them is right here. The price went up, it came down, it gave us a discount. But we didn't get a ball, so we didn't have anything to evaluate. This price went up, it came down, and then it turned around. We got a ball, but it's at the top of the mark. So let's evaluate this ball right here. This ball right here, okay? This ball right here. We're going to evaluate this ball right here. I'm going to ask you guys' opinion today on something here. So we're going to evaluate that ball. So the ball, the trend is good. The trend is nice. there was no retracement. The cloudy stop, remember this is a 2-point scale. So the cloudy stop was, what? It wasn't a smile, wasn't a frown, it was just a, and then there was no headroom for profit. So this is not a ball that we would take. That's all. We evaluated it. That's what you learn how to do in the academy, and that's what you learn how to do around here. Now, I'm in a lot of volatility here in this particular instance. You'll notice that it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of movement, but you know what? It's moved up 2 points. I mean, I got $100 here. It keeps moving back and forth. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stop price and I'm going to move it up a half a point here just because of the volatility, but I'm going to leave that limit order the same. And if it goes up here to there, I'm going to make 2 points or 4 points, which is $200. If it goes down to here, I'm going to make a half a point, which is only 25 bucks. Okay, good. That's a good deal. In this particular instance, where the market is getting to the time where it wants to turn around. Okay, so there we go. Let's take a look at this and see if this goes up and see if it makes me my 4 points, my 200 bucks. Because then I'll be like $675 to the good thing. That's good. Thanks, Kyle, for telling me over here on the other side that it's a 2-point scale. All right, visitors, have you learned anything today? Sure, you should have learned a lot of little things today. It's amazing. But anyway, what have you learned today, visitors? What kind of questions do you have? I want all the visitors to answer. Crazy so far, huh? Good stuff, right? Look at this. I'm getting ready to make $200 here. And your question would be, why don't I change that target? Because it looks like things are just going up like crazy. Because I'll be messing with my foundation if I do. I have very specific risk-reward ratio I work with. G4S3 period. So let me ask you the question this way. What is the most interesting thing that you've learned today? Every visitor, if you can't type that question up there, and you waste my time. Answer, right? I'm not here to waste my time. What's the most important, what's the coolest thing you learned today? Or coolest thing we covered?
Man, I can't believe how high it's going.
Give me a question, too. I didn't learn garbage.
I give it a 51%.
You tell me that too. I mean, that's okay too. I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
0.333.
You can always re-enter if it keeps climbing. Yes, you re-enter. Yes. Let me interpret that statement for you and watch this here as it gets to here. Let's watch this, and I'll be talking. Can you re-enter if it keeps climbing? Yes, you can, but you only re-enter when it comes back down again.
See, we've had, if you look at the dailies, we've had a lower
no point
low.
In this part of the day where you would want to enter.
It just doesn't look like it.
You don't want to jump in on the bandwagon.
Going back.
Only re-enter when you have a discount. Trend, retracement, cloudy stop, headroom. The retracement is the discount. Now, boom, I just made $200 and it's still climbing.
Can you go up?
Yes, but you're losing all that money. It's going to climb up and you're going to make lots and lots and lots and lots of money. Don't lie to yourself. It's not the way we do things. We do things the way the billionaires do it. That ain't the way the billionaires do it.
Right?
Yes, but I read on YouTube, you cut your losses and you extend your profits. Yes, you do. But you do it mathematically based on a predetermined formula, not
Or
because you got a monkey in your butt. Okay? Oh, this is great. You know, things are going up. I'm going to jump on that train. If you try to jump on a runaway train, you're just going to rip your arms right off your shoulders. You do it in a predetermined methodological way, not
go
just
down.
because the market's telling you, jump in right now.
It's already created.
You only come in at
pivot
discounts.
points.
There was only one opportunity today to do that,
I mean,
and that was right here.
at the beginning of the day, it would have
That's the way we
been a
do it.
little worrisome.
That's the way to learn to do things, based on the rules. That's where you get a turnaround signal. We got a turnaround signal here, but we were at the top of the mark, so the other rules didn't apply. So there are rules that apply and rules that don't apply.
Earlier in the day,
Okay.
but now.
So we'll be very, very careful about that. So yes, you can always get back in the market, but I got to clarify your statement. You only get in when you receive a discount.
Continues to have this long
You know,
bias.
I know people that when they go to the store, they only buy when they get a
But we're
significant
doing
discount.
that.
Okay.
And then on, once we reach that pivot point.
Trades
look
made with
back,
G and S. Okay, excellent.
And
like
then
conservative
that,
principles,
you hit
very
the-
conservative principles that we do here.
Yeah.
Because,
You're gonna have to
you know,
assess,
Wild West Maverick stuff, that's gambling. We're not here to gamble. We're here to be,
look
we're
at-
here, listen,
Good one. I like that. That's probably it. That's that point. of
you know, our
resistance
president
now.
isn't a billionaire because of accident.
What price
Okay.
was that at?
So,
He may have had some accidental good fortune. For example, his daddy was a millionaire. That helps. That helps. In some cases, it hurts.
28.
That's why people like Warren Buffett
2887,
27.
don't,
87.
27.
they got billions of dollars. They don't just hand it over to their kids and say, here, go for it. They make their
Now the
kids
questions
suffer
are gonna
and do some work
Start
and understand
retrace me.
the value of the money, understand the value of making good decisions, understand the value of stuff. If he just gave them the money, said, here, go for it, you know, start your own billion-dollar business, before he teaches them the lessons, he'll be doing his children a disservice. Because if you can't manage $100, you can't manage $1 million. Okay? Now, if you never really had the opportunity to manage $1 million, and you were given that opportunity, you could hire some people to help you. You got to hire the right people. You hire the wrong accountant, the wrong lawyer that gives you bad advice because they don't recognize the question. See, part of their job is to not just answer the questions you ask, but to recognize the intent of your question and answer the question that you're really asking. Because if you're asking them a question you probably don't know, so you don't really know the question to ask, I hate it. Government agencies are bad about that. You call them on the phone and you ask them, okay, well, how do I do blah, 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 blah. And they'll tell you that. They don't go, oh, you know what you really mean is this over here. They just send you off on some crazy ass goose chase. Chasing snipes. Where's the snipe? You know, I'm hungry for dinner. Where can I find snipes? Right? So I'll send you the snipes. And snipes are real birds, by the way.
Yeah, they
I've never seen them in life. I don't think. Okay.
I think us
conservative principles,
middle-
this is what we
mid-
want to trade on.
Mid-earth
And
people
do our
don't know
conservative
about
principles
snipes.
work? Well, you should know just by being here that yes, they do. You're looking at a DOM. You looked at one yesterday that I was losing on most of the day. In this case, things caught up. Yesterday, things caught up to the market too. It just takes a little while. You're looking at 300 people jumping on and offline who all agree on the same thing. And if it wasn't true what we did, you wouldn't see that. We have representatives. We have, we counted 11. I used to say 7. But we have 11 layers of consumer protection.
Well, I
We
think
have
that,
laws, very strict laws. that
like
we
in
have
the
to follow.
Midwest,
And if you were to challenge those, you lose because we're very documented.
Do anything.
We have very tight compliance on everything that we do. We have like 11 layers of consumer protection to try to help people. We still have some people that join us that are inappropriate for trading at the time, but most of them join. They don't have enough money to trade and all that, but they know that this is an educational experience that, you know, somebody was asking, you know, when's the best time to get into Bitcoin? Well, either 4 years ago
Oh,
or
that
today.
green ball would have.
When's the best time to plant an oak tree? 30 years ago or today. Those are the two best times.
That last green ball
Tomorrow is not as good
would have almost
because
made
you want
it.
that oak tree in the ground and you want it growing. And so you can enjoy it. Money is the same way. When you start saving money or start planning your retirement. Well, gosh, you know, this is, you know, in trading, I don't want to have I hear some of the stupidest stuff. And usually it's for people who are broke, right? And I'm not right about everything. I'm right about a lot of things a lot of times. And when I'm not right, I try to manage that risk. So I'm not right all the time. I just want to be right a little bit of the majority of the time. Okay? And then manage the risk. That's the key to life. I haven't always been so good at that. Okay? I've been terrible at that. I've made some bad mistakes. Bad mistakes. Stuff you don't want to do. Right? Very, very bad mistakes. And even worse ones in my dreams. So I learned a lot of lessons the hard way, and I try to shortcut people. sometimes there's no counting for time though, right? So we want to be exacting in our approach. We just really want to be exacting in our approach. The teaching of software impressive that futures are treated differently in taxes than stock options. Thank you. Absolutely, totally different. I would not. There's a reason I don't trade stock options. This is too easy. This is taking candy from a baby. You know, I mean, you'll lose your butt if you don't know what you're doing, or you'll lose your butt when you don't not discipline, things like that. This might take. It's amazing. I'm gonna trade 3 contracts right now. I'm gonna enter a buy order. Okay. So I just entered a buy order on 3 contracts, and I'm gonna give you guys another lesson. So if I hit my target market at 3 contracts.
Well, I guess what I'm wanting to know is he.
So I got 3 contracts times $50
and selling
times 4
high,
points. How much money would I make if I hit my green?
or is he putting the stops in to stop the bleeding? That's 2 totally
And how much would
different
I
concepts.
lose if I hit my loss? Yeah, you're not here to understand the torch, the TRCH. You're here to understand that those exist and that you're going to learn about them. Yeah. So I'm risking $450 in order to make 600. Okay. Let's see if this is the right numbers. So 3 times 50 times 4. $600.
So with our analysis of this daily,
Immediately, I took this trade at the top of the mark, which is not something that I would want to do.
I need
Right.
to figure
So
out
I didn't wait for a discount. So immediately it went down against me.
if this
So
is
now I have to be very,
a
very
resistance
patient,
at the,
that in this
high,
crazy, really volatile market.
or if it's
I'm
gonna
in a
break
trade
through and I
very,
should
very
be
dangerous.
buying
So I could give away a lot of that money
stock
that I
by
just made.
Vanguard.
I can give it back. And I won't be too
That's one of the
myself,
things
but a little bit.
the guy, and that's one of the things
But
that
I
I was
did this.
trying to get out of my
Nobody
petition.
on the planet, well, I
You
guess
know.
other people might, but I don't know them.
It just
would
sounded like all he wanted to
get
do
into
was
a trade
this,
that I
and
shouldn't
none of
be
this
in, top of the
long-term
mark,
stuff. And
and
that's,
risk $400.
to me, the long-term stuff is the most profitable so far,
This is real. You're in the right place. You know.
because it's slower.
Oh, one of the things I was going to say is, I'll get a 30-year-old person, right? And they think they're going to retire at 70 or start collecting their money at 70. That's 40 years. And then I'll talk to them about, well, if you really want to get up to trading 40, 80 contracts, things like that, I say it's going to take you 5 years. And they're like, 5 years? Well, yeah. You're on a 40-year plan already. You're already committed 40 years for your retirement, or 20 or 15. 2 years to learn a skill set and to get to the
Yeah,
success
by
level
the
is
time I'm
nothing.
30.
Where's your thinking? You're so if they're
What?
50 years old,
Horses
I got 20 years before I'm 70,
at 30
I've got
will be comfortably.
15 years before I'm 65.
Trading.
We got to start right now
Yeah.
educating yourself, and then you get to that level. That's simple. But people are too short-minded, too lazy, too insecure, too
Big time.
they got an excuse for everything. Excuse for everything.
24.
And so we're here to knock down those walls, knock down those barriers just as fast. So it's cool.
Maybe I'll give myself 8.
Clifton, I retired at 60. It took another 9 years to find Delta Group.
Go faster.
Well, I'm
than
glad
that.
you did,
Yes,
but-
it's just comfortable.
I like the fact
I
you
mean, I
made
think it
it
really comes down to
Good job. I like that.
real dash.
All right. So anyway, what do we got here? We are at
Oh, yeah, I think it comes down to-
10:39. Really? Man, I thought I was closer to it 11 o'clock than that.
Exactly. Because I own 100 contracts. Now.
If I would have realized that,
Probably okay.
I would have been a little more skeptical about this particular trade.
loss.
Because I might just lose $450 for it real quick. Taking things at the top of the mark.
Oh, you want to go
So
for
that you can
that?
do some math.
I don't know.
Wasn't the most brilliant thing to do,
Right.
but I do those
That'd
things so that
I
you learn.
probably want to sunk.
So that you learn. I'll get a little bit of
Fall
that
in
money
a
back.
hole.
I don't mind giving a little bit of that back.
Bury
I'll
me
still be
in the
pretty
middle.
positive for the day. Let's take a look
Well,
at
that's why I try to
G4
keep
S3
a-
trades here. I'm going to clean up this chart.
My-
I'm going to make it really
my
simple.
focus
I'm
is
gonna
that,
see
yeah.
patterns.
My focus
I'm
is,
going to clean up a lot of that price action.
as long as
Get rid of the pivot
my
point.
overall
Get
investment,
rid of the
whatever that
bar turns and balls.
is going in the
There we
right
go.
direction.
I'm going to let this other trade here, just kind of go. I'm going to show you a couple of,
But what I'm saying, because we don't have any control over this, we don't know if Donovan is taking
I'm going to show
advantage
you
of
a G4
the market's
S3
dropping,
trade.
or is he
just on the ball,
selling you out?
okay?
to
But
keep
without
your
the trend, the
losses
retracement body stop, or
minimalized?
headroom
To keep your
being
losses
applied.
minimalized,
And I'm going to
then
assume
you're
from
getting screwed on
4 o'clock in
the
the morning
uptrend.
that we're trading 20 contracts. And I'm probably going to need a few more sets of eyes on this.
So I wanna know.
I'm gonna see what the
is
performance
a
would have been
discount.
if we'd have taken just the balls with no thought, just like a
That's another
monkey,
way of
just a
saying
view ball, a
buying
ticket,
low,
with no
buying
thought at all. Okay, so here's a blue thing. Did it go down 4 points
instead
before
of
it went up
just
3?
Buying, cause.
Yes,
the
it did.
news
That's a winner.
said
Here's a green one. Did it go up 4 points
whatever
before it went down 3? It's a winner. Here are 2 green ones.
conversations he's having in the
They go
office.
up 4 points before they went down 3. That's
Oh,
2
what
more
I got
winners.
in his
Here's a blue one.
he's got in-
Did it go down 4 points
in on something. Oh.
before it went up 3? It's a winner. Here's a blue one. It's a loser.
Well,
Here's a green
we
one.
should be able to determine this by what's going on. Is
It's a
there
winner.
something
Here's a green
in
one.
your account that has been round trip that we can look at?
It's a winner. Here's a blue
You
one.
say
It's a loser.
ABC was
Here's
bought
a
at
green one.
this, and ABC was sold at this. Is there anywhere?
No,
you can do that?
what he's
I can't
doing is,
tell, so I'm gonna call it a loser.
getting
Benefit of the doubt.
dividends and then
Here's a blue one.
reinvesting. I just see the cycle of reinvesting every time there's a.
It's a winner. Here's a green one.
So it's
It's a
not, it's
loser.
not,
So he
Here's a
never
blue
sells
one.
anything.
it does.
It's a loser.
Okay, so whatever the
green
last thing he
It's a
was that
winner.
he sold,
Here's
how
a
much
green
did he
one.
buy it?
One. We don't know yet. Okay? So out of
That's what.
14 trades, I have 9 winners and 5 losers.
How much he bought it
Okay.
for?
Yeah, the last thing
14
he
trades,
sold,
just the
how
ball.
much did he buy it?
So 14 trades.
Like open up another window so you don't lose your.
14 trades. Okay? 9 winners and 5 losers. If I do the math, I'm going to take 9 winners divided by 14 trades. That's 64% winners, right? 64.21% winners.
Oh, here's
There it is
your
right there.
bio.
Okay? And I'm going to show you how much money you would have made if today you would have just taken
You wanna
whatever.
hear Donovan's
So 9 winners
interest?
times
Horses.
20
Maybe time with
contracts
family
times,
golfing.
you always multiply your contracts times 50.
Golfing.
Home
times 4
improvement, Football fishing.
Okay? So the winners would be 9 times 20,
I'm
times
asking if you follow
5
Bucks and
times
football.
4. $36,000.
He's from.
You would have won today. But wait, there were some losers,
Yeah.
and there were 5 of them. And at 20 contracts, okay, times $50, times 4 points, times negative 3 points, excuse me, negative 3 points, equals, what would I have lost today? Well, let's take a peeky weeky, will we leave? Times 20, times 50, times 3. I would have lost $15,000. So I made 36,000, 36 minus 15. My net is $21,000. Now, let me explain something to you. Visitors, simplicity. If you'd have got on this morning, 4 o'clock Eastern time, which is like yesterday in Pacific time, not quite, almost, okay, and you would have taken every ball for G4S3, which is our secret magic sauce, you would have made $21,000 minus commission. That's that simple. No thought. No, somebody say, I don't understand the cloudy stop and this and that. You don't need to yet. You'll understand that in the academy. I'm showing you the simplicity of what we do. So what are commissions? And by the way, let's get in on this trade here. Okay, my trade's doing okay. Let's get back to our lesson. All right, our commissions. How many trades did we take? We took 14. We multiply that times 20 contracts times $5. So our commissions on all of this trading that we did, our broker, is going to take 14 times 20 times 5. $1,400 you're paying your broker today. Well, 21,000 minus $1,400.
The first buy and sell that we had
So I'm gonna go
was John
21,000.
Hancock Money Market Fund.
Minus
Okay,
$1,400 equals 19,600
so he sold, the
My
last transaction,
my
he
net
sold it?
is
Yeah, it was the first and the last.
$19,600. And all I had to do was get my lazy self up at 4 o'clock
Okay,
each
so
time
what
in the
is,
morning.
the last
take every ball
transaction
in for
was,
S3. It's that
what did
simple,
he
my
sell
friend.
it for?
Numbers. Yesterday I did it. We came up with a very similar amount.
The quantity
But
says.
the reason we don't do
-10,
that this way
price
is
says
number one, you don't know how to,
the
and you're not
amount
going to read on
says
YouTube how to.
Okay, so
Because there's a
$10.
little issue here,
So what did he buy?
right?
So if I
And
scroll
you
all the way
will not be
back,
able to figure it out for yourself, right? You have to be trained in how to do it. But if you took well, just take every single one of those balls out. Well, guess what? You can't. And you can't do it legally. Why not? You don't know. These are the things you learn in the academy. This is the things you learn. And in fact, you wouldn't want to in the beginning. Eventually, yes, but at first you wouldn't want to. Because, and we're going to have some trade signals and stuff that we're going to be selling that we're
Are you
going to be
saying
teaching
he
people how to do
lost
it. They're going to pay
$140?
a little bit of money to come spend a couple of days learning some of the secrets and getting their stuff set up to do it. And it takes a little bit of sacrifice,
I'll
but
show
it's like
you, this is
nothing
what
you've
I'm
ever. Every day I get up in the morning, it's a miracle.
so it's
It's a miracle. Everybody wants to do what we do and what I do. I mean, I meet people in the airplane. You know, I mean, sometimes I meet people in the airplane,
here.
and you know, we're talking business. You know, he's interested. Well, I'm interested in what he's doing. I said, let me buy you lunch. Right? When we get off the airplane, let's say we land in Dallas.
So he did that in one.
And I might take this person, right, who's a businessman sitting up first class, whatever, and I'll take him to the
So it
Centurion
looks
Club.
like he,
If you know American Express and the Centurion Club, you know, go over there and
we
he's
don't know
like,
what time.
he's a businessman. He's like, wow, I didn't know that this place existed. They're usually hidden somewhere. They're up in the
We're
mezzanine level,
assuming this was the last.
you know, hidden somewhere. And we go to a little Centurion Club. We
If we're looking
have
at
some-
like the first
have a
thing
nice
that
little
was done
buffet
was
presentation lunch, which is
from
really
Jack
good
Pack.
usually.
Right, but
Or
So
anything wants to
this
drink.
by here, where is,
And we sit and we talk business. They always want to know, what do you do? I tell them what I do, and they're like amazed that somebody's actually doing it. Somebody, you know, or they'll recognize, oh, you're the one that has that radio advertisement I hear on the weekend, you know? And they're always interested. Everybody did. From all levels, they're interested. Either they do it or they want to know how to do it. And there's so much misinformation out there, and I hear all these stories all the time of people with misinformation. The people who get it right, their life changes, their histories change. And then, but all different levels, because you can't take certain principles and apply it to this if you haven't specifically been taught this. Look at these balls. These balls are 100% accurate in terms of telling us that we have a turnaround. Now, I'll say 99.9% accurate. Okay? 1 out of 1,000, you might some data thing might be wrong, but really
The next time it's reinvestment.
less than that. Okay, so it's not really measurable or important. The accuracy of these balls are totally accurate. So I've taken another trade at the top of the market at the time I shouldn't. I took 3 contracts. I was overextended, but I made a lot of money. So I was willing to risk $450 to give it to you back, give it back in order to show people how to take trades. Not being greedy, I'm being informative.
And
And you won't find any place like that that'll be informative, because if you sit down one-on-one, nobody's gonna go, hey, it's costing me $350 to give you a lesson. Yesterday, it cost me $600 to give you a lesson, but I'll make that money back today. Okay, so, and I didn't make it back yesterday because I didn't have time to trade. I had other stuff to do.
So how much did you buy for that stuff?
Does everyone in the East trade at 4 a.m.? No, nope. They usually get up and trade. They can trade at any time. You can trade 23 hours a day. 23 hours a day.
I thought we had to sell up there, you have to buy before you could sell.
Right, that's what I don't.
Okay, but if you did, you know why? I don't need to get up that early. Yeah. No, 23 hours a day. All right, so I don't like this movement here. I'm going to get out of this particular. I'm going to go ahead and flatten this trade. Just get out of my money right now, because I don't have time to mess around. I'm at $825 for the day. Oh, I had 10 minutes left. And the remaining 10 minutes, I'm going to be asking my members questions. So visitors, hope you had a great day today. I hope you see what we do and why we do it. This is live. This is real. Like I said, I hear the craziest stuff
On that address.
all the time. You know, I classify people in 2 different categories usually when I meet them. And this is the way I would classify them when I was a professor. And by the way,
All the money.
price is probably going to go up. I just left a lot of money on the table.
In my
I don't care.
purses,
Not my money yet.
in other
Right?
purses.
So I'm going to get out of this
gaining
right
time,
here.
Inflation and whatever the hell.
Okay, I made a couple really nice trades, $825 a head today.
But we know you have less
Let me
money.
go ahead and get out of this. Get out of
Yeah,
this.
because the volatility is
uh-oh.
poor right now.
I was getting out of the wrong thing. Whoops.
Well, that's what they told me.
I don't know if you noticed,
Their
listeners,
strategy.
but I made a lot of
This is
mistakes
what they
today.
give out.
When I was trading my ladder, I kept adjusting the wrong. I did it like 10 times,
Guidance report.
you know, and it's not that we want to be perfect and not make mistakes. It's what we do, how we handle those mistakes. And more importantly, how we handle success. A lot of people get successful, then they get stupid with their money. You can't afford to be stupid with your money. When you get an advantage, you don't give that away. When you start a business in your first year, at the end of the year, you made $500,000. You don't take $400,000 of that and go out and buy a Lamborghini. You're an idiot. You know, you need to know that your business is going to go into a declination. When it declines and you lose $250,000, now you're $250,000 ahead, and then you can live through that wave and you can go up and make more money. There's a way that rich people treat their money, and there's a way poor people treat their money. There's a cycle that we want to avoid. So,
So I guess.
You know, I make
my
mistakes every
question
day.
to
I
you
made a
is,
lot of
how are you
mistakes
going
today.
to get rid of the confusion?
I'm here to show you my mistakes. I'm here to make you aware when I make a mistake, what I'm doing and how I'm handling it. You never saw me freak out about any mistakes. I'm just like, what an idiot, I just made another mistake. You know,
Because I just look
because
at, because I
the way you
really
have to handle it.
studied.
Every trade I get into, I
account,
assume I'm going to lose. You
And
know, and look at that price go up. I
when
just left. I'd be over
I
$1,000
started at the
today, right?
beginning of the year,
But I don't care. I'm
my account
875. I
never
forget what it was.
lost.
How much was it? Okay.
So
That's it. I mean, you want to learn how to make.
it would seem
You want
like
to, okay, so when you
there
start
can be a
off,
strategy.
after
where
you've been
never
trading
lose.
for a couple of months, your goal is to make between $250 and $500 a week,
Price
one
yours
contract.
being lower than the money you put in.
After you do that successfully for a month straight, 4 weeks straight,
When they were explaining.
then you can
this
move to 2
in
contracts.
that guidance report, they
Right.
said.
And there's a couple other little
if you put on
caveats
more
to that.
risk,
And you're gonna go from $500 to $1,000 a week,
you have more.
right?
If you have more.
Eventually, then you're gonna go to 4 contracts. Well, you're gonna go to 3, then 4. I'm just using 4 because the math is in here. I don't wanna make it hard on myself. 4 contracts is $1,000 to $2,000 a week.
Like what Doc says here is.
Same
they have
basics,
low
get back to
risk
basics.
And high reward.
Then you go
They say high.
to
risk.
5 and 6 contracts. The 6
Yeah,
contracts, you're making
high
between
reward.
2,000
They said
and 4,000
possibility.
a week.
But
Now
that's
you're
all
starting to
federal
replace some
regulations
income.
They put in that guide.
Right? So, well, actually, you're kind of right here at 4 contracts. That's a $60,000 a year job, $50,000 to $60,000 a year job.
I'm trying to
Right.
understand that type
That's kind of a big milestone. 6 contracts, 8 contracts, you're at 4K to 8K. 10 contracts, right? It just goes on up. I think I might have made a mathematical error here. Because I got 10 and my numbers aren't quite right. But you get the point. They made
Yeah,
another
because I
mistake.
could see.
I don't even
that
know what it was.
I
I don't care. You get my point.
account
You
for
work your way up.
the grandkids.
And you
I
do it
don't know
safely,
how I could
efficiently.
actually,
And there's a lot of risk. You can bust your account 2, 3, 4 times,
on a
learning the discipline.
level.
you already know the right thing to do.
As I can.
So that's-
on a $90,000.
$825. Thank you so much there, Memphis Wolf.
Well, and the problem is I
By the way,
can't,
I'm waiting on your new album to come out.
because with a $90,000 account, I can.
All right, I want to talk to my
several-
visitors. Any questions
Several items.
before I convert my time
So
over to
one's
my
going up
members
at different
and
rates. Maybe this one will go down, this one will go up,
we
and
talk
then
about,
follow, but still the concept is
I'm gonna be asking
Yeah,
members about an idea.
make money. And I look and say, if it goes down,
Visitors,
if the
check in with
chart
me here,
looks like
please.
it's gonna go
How's
down
everything?
here,
Good?
I'm anticipating a bigger drop. Then.
if it's your first
that's
day,
when I
you'll learn a
cash
hell of a
out,
lot more tomorrow.
And my money has never gone down.
All good, good. If it's your second day,
You know, if I
then
start
you
the
see,
year at
you learned a lot
78,000,
yesterday, and you probably learned even more today.
there might be times that
Right.
it dipped below 78,000.
You're learning the secrets of the wealthy.
Once it got into the 80s, I started to stop.
Is there any outside software recommended, not for the trading portion, but for the tracking, etc.? Lisa, we provide you with all of that. We provide you with all of that stuff. We have it from super simple to sophisticated. There's nothing outside. Most everything that you'll see on the outside is BS. You know,
So some of what
it's
I
like
was
finding a good
thinking
hairdresser.
was,
You gotta go through dozens of them before
I've
you
got
find one that
something
gets you,
called
right?
sustained flight.
Or a good
Did I
teacher,
tell
or a
you
good
this?
whatever.
I don't think we really talked about
We
it.
provide you with everything. There's no outside resources. That, you know, every now and then I send you the videos, you
And
know,
it's
of
got
other people that have something really significant. Right?
41,000.
And we have an area in our academy for all that.
Something like that.
We have an
So
academy.
my
that's like
original,
no
when I was
other.
thinking about what I wanted to do
It's
with
very
this,
simple.
because if we're at the bottom, I want to take this money and do something.
And it's
So
not
what
like
I
you
was
think
going to
academy
do
is,
was
"Ugh," you know, have your representative show you one of our videos, or you know.
Because it looks
yeah,
like I should
actually,
be able to
yeah.
open up a Fidelity account, or actually I was looking at TV.
But yeah, no, no, you don't want to get corrupted
My
by the crap
diversity
out
is
there on the internet.
Different companies more than different
You know,
technologies.
you want to know something, ask
And
Jonathan,
then I
and
was
he can
thinking,
provide
okay,
you
well, I could put
people within
this
this group that can
I could
verify
put
it. And then you can talk to them. I don't know what city you're in and all that.
31,211.64
You know, if
across
you're Sacramento, you can run up there, and
ETFs,
even if you're Jonathan's person, you can run up there and sit down with
and
Rob.
then have
who lives in the Sacramento
10,000
area. Have, you know, meet at Starbucks.
as a
You know, we want people to be
transact.
comfortable. We're the best trading group on the planet. People clamor to get us. And,
So
you know, we're the real deal.
pushing it like this, and if you want, you know,
So that's why we provide
management,
you with all the
I was
resources we have.
thinking I'd give
No-
you 30%.
No company has,
So if you took
you know,
it
we
up
have
to
right now over 6 hours of
20K,
moderated trading today. And I'm
You
getting ready to
get
talk about 2 more
3K.
hours of moderated trading today with my group members here. But we have to make a few things happen first, right? In
Yeah,
terms of company revenue and stuff like that.
well, but you could take that
Lot of
3K
money
and put it in your own person.
Millions.
Or,
Okay? This is not,
or
take
take it up
Joe.
to
Fred, Rick, Rogers,
20.
in his backyard.
what was I?
No offense to anybody whose name
Because
Joe,
if you
Fred,
wanted
or
to trade
Rogers.
with a $30,000
In his
account,
backyard teaching you trading and wanting to be a, you
you
know,
know, you could have that
a
23,
social
you
media
move it to
celebrity.
30, so once it got
That's
to
not
30,
what's
you
going on.
got, you know,
Okay.
you got 6,000.
We make our money because
of it
we're the
as
real
your
deal.
own.
And these social celebrities that you see, they're BS. They're.
The reason but I
they're
think
what
the
we're talking
best way would be
They're
to
misleading
make sure
people.
you are always getting
And
paid.
we combat that with the Great Academy. Over 300 active members.
And then I'd be
any
saying
given time.
whatever I'm doing with.
We have a lot more
ETFs,
members and more people
I
that
need
have
to
been in the group that
offset
aren't really
a
super
loss
active
somewhere.
because they trade outside the group and
Hopefully,
they,
with long
traveling.
stuff.
you know, doing different things. But we have
So
hundreds
it's
and
always
hundreds.
going up.
I have thousands of people that have been through the program, right?
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing though.
We,
is
yes,
if this
John,
looks
you're welcome.
interesting to you,
This should be life
I mean,
changing.
I could get, you know, Tammy was interested in
outside
something like that.
Stuff, we, you know,
And
when you
Dan
do
was
start trading, we
interested.
do start giving you some outside resources. There are some books
Yeah,
that we
there
will give
seems
you.
to be somebody
Right.
else that I've talked to.
Right now,
that was
those books won't mean
interested.
anything. And when you read them, you'll get the impression, oh, this is too complicated. You don't understand the book. You know what you're doing yet.
So,
Right? So, and, you know, like,
so then,
I won't give you the exact
Well,
name,
not-
we'll call it trading in the
Because
groove.
one of my issues,
Right, trading in the groove.
one of my
It's a great
operational
book.
things is,
Wonderful
I
book.
think it would be,
But you'll understand
I think
that
it'd
much
be
of
too
it.
tough for you to try.
Well, I'll
and
just pick out what I can
manipulate
understand. No, you won't. You will
full
screw your mind
accounts
up reading
at
that
one
book before you're ready.
And I would say that
The Art
time. I
of
mean, I
War
think you
is
could
a
take
great
like
book.
Tammy's and say, you know what, I'm gonna trade
Um,
Tammy's
Piaget,
because it's the
um,
lowest. and
Theory of
I'm gonna
Cognitive
trade
Development is a great book. But you would read it and you go, what the hell does this have to do with trading?
so-and-so.
Right?
So you're
When
always
you start trading, and
manipulating.
you hear one day when I talk about that book, you'll understand.
By just
So,
bringing up
you want to stay away from the outside resources.
into one.
If you're super excited about trading and you want to do all you can,
Well, I think,
first
what I'm
step is join
wanting
the group.
to see
Do
you
what you
apply
have
it
to do.
to this, because you're getting all. this
Work out a
help from
long-term
Doc and Rob and
You don't have to pay for the first year.
whoever
to go
else
there.
is helping.
You can reduce your
That,
number
that's
of
where,
payments over the years
that,
by
that to me
doing
is
4 or
my
5 years,
edge.
just like you would in
You
any.
know, if you were falling into a hole and coming out once in
And
a
then
while.
reduce your payments. Start paying now. Don't put your payments off. Start
But
paying now.
you're
You're paying a
you're
little bit
always
over a long period of
involved.
time.
And
And
there's
you
everybody
mitigate
that
that,
wants to help you.
that risk
I don't see.
by making a
failure
commitment to,
being-
now you're committed. Now you got to do what you need to do to be successful in your trading. So we have a lot of different options for people.
I'm not
And reducing their monthly payment, which is, we'll finance something over a 5-year period of time,
5 are having fun.
a 4-year or a 2-year period, or a 1-year period, right? But we're not here to be taken advantage of, but we're here to give everybody every advantage that they can possibly have. That's our goal. So talk to your representatives about it. If you don't get the answers exactly that you're looking for, all of your representatives have a manager. He's the director of academics. Name's Rodney. Rodney is well qualified. Rodney has been in academics, in marketing and academic stuff for many different trade schools, including a couple of nationally accredited colleges, of which I worked for. Okay. And so he's worked with the colleges, and he's worked with trade schools. He's worked with all kinds of very qualified men, and always looking for ways to help clients. That's what we do. We're not here to try to fit a square peg into a round hole. We're here to make sure that we meet people's expectations to help them be successful. This is, to me, best value any success type oriented program that you could possibly go
Jeremy's at lunch, so I'm gonna lock the door.
Good deal.
not just because I designed it, but because I designed it based around many, many years of analyzing the market, and that's just a portion of it, 10 to 20%. The other part is I have been a instructor at several different universities and have written curriculum for several different universities, and I have trained the professors of several different universities. When they come on, they have to go through a month-long or 2-month or 3-month-long training program at the university to learn policies and procedures and training methodologies. I train them. So not only did I do it, but I trained the trainers. So I've written curriculum for several different universities. I've written the curriculum to help them get several different universities get their top level of accreditation. Okay, so I'm understanding the compliance of those accreditation processes. So these are the things that that we do. These are the things that we do, and where we come from. Right now, the market, you notice I got out of the market, whatever. The market's coming down. It's retracing. What a retracement is, the price is coming down. We wait for the price to come down because when the price comes down, it's retracing. We normally call that a discount. The market is discounting. Right now, it's a big discounting drop starting our afternoon market off. So visitors, welcome. Talk to your representatives. And let's see, whatever. Every now and then we have special things that your representatives will invite you to. If you don't join, come and see them. They might put you on a list to send you out texts with new things that are going on, right? Or coming up, or maybe a special Friday that you might want to come and visit, whatever. Our goal is to teach the importance of what we do and to have you join our group so that we all share in the knowledge and all share in the benefits. So that's why why we don't have like a regular sales seminar. Come here and I'm like, just be patient, you'll get it. Yeah. Yeah, there's no ball yet to trade. No ball yet to trade. Prices are coming down. We could actually get, we could get a green ball right now here in the next couple of seconds. No, it would be in about 4 minutes, 20 seconds, we could potentially get a ball, but I would like to see this price come down a little bit more. It's on about a 50% retracement. Well, it's between a 30 to 50% retracement right now, so which is a good place to be. But we have a hell of a bull run, and so I would like to really kind of consider the price from here to here. I would like to see it in this range. What's a really good indicator of that range? The 20-minute moving average. If that price comes below the 20-minute moving average, it turns around, gives us a ball. You're probably at that point going to have a good trend, a good retracement, a good cloudy stop, and what? Headroom for fun. And the UV time, it's going to be time to take that trade. By the way, this green ball right here would have won. So you would have been at 19,000. What was it? 19,000. You'd be at like over $20,000. All you did was just take the balls and spot roll. That's it. You wouldn't want to actually do that. I would not recommend doing that because you draw down on crazy days. You'll lose your daily limits. And if you do that in a downward market, then you will bust your account. And then what will happen is the next day you'd make money like a madman, but your account's busted. So you have to get to a level where you can afford to do trades like that, right? And you don't do that your first month of trading. You do that by being adult, responsible, and formulating how we do things, not skipping steps. All right. Thank you so much, visitors. That concludes what you're doing here with me. I'm going to move on to my members. I got a few minutes here. I want to ask my members about something. Members, through the years, we invite visitors into our live trading sessions. But as you know, they all go through the same processes of wanting to see trades and this and that and the other, right? So every day when we have visitors, we need to educate those visitors. So there's you're welcome, Lisa. There's a very interesting thing that happens in the afternoon. And that is at 4 o'clock, we get out of the market. Okay? And we get back in the market at 6 o'clock. That's when our trading time comes. Granted, 6 o'clock on for the first couple hours, not much is going on. So we have some leeway there. So you're welcome, Jim. So what if, and so some visitors work during the morning hours, especially on Monday morning, things like that, right? So what can we do to facilitate visitors that doesn't disrupt what we're doing? Because sometimes we miss trades because I'm answering a visitor. Something comes in and I'm on this crazy tangent with a visitor, right? So I miss a trade. So it's very disruptive sometimes. I usually always try to make that work to our benefit. Remember the other day when I just had a visitor that just popped on? Suddenly he's like talking in the middle of our deal. I didn't get mad and boot him off or anything like that. I said, hey, here's a chance to talk to a visitor. So I tried to make the lesson out of that, right? The laughing guy. Yes, Angelique, the laughing guy. Angelique, give me a call later on today. Give me a couple of hours, but give me a call. Give me a touch base on my 251 number. Okay? Give me a buzz. Let's chit chat. All right. So yes, the laughing guy. So I try to take these happy little accidents or mistakes and turn them into learning lessons. And that's what the great teachers do. And I want everybody here that's a mentor or moderator to be a great teacher. So that's what we do. Okay. So it works to our benefit. It also works to our benefit because they're not seeing a sales seminar. They're seeing what's up. They're seeing what's going on. By the way, green ball in about 15 seconds, folks. You guys can analyze it while I'm talking. All right? I'm not going to analyze it, but you guys can analyze that green ball while I'm talking. If it comes in about 5 seconds. Well, it'll be about 10 seconds, maybe. We'll see how it goes. Okay? Yep. Turn blue. Let's see. Is it going to give us a green ball? Probably peekaboo for a little bit. There's that green ball. Let's see how sketchy that thing is. Go ahead and analyze it, see where you want to be. I'd probably stay away from it a little bit, but might be a good very well be a good opportunity. but I think it should retracement. All right, I'm not happy with the retracement. I'm not happy with the body stop. I'm happy with the retracement. Okay, so here's my idea, and you guys let me know what you think. And if anybody wants to have a private conversation about it, call your representatives, call your, what we'll do is instead of everybody calling me, call your representatives, call your mentors that are on your sessions, call your liaisons, call your mama, and let's filter that on up the pipeline to me. And then the liaisons can call me and tell me what kind of feedback they're getting. Actually, the liaisons and everybody could call Rodney and give feedback to Rodney because he's the important one, not me. I don't mean anything to say, okay? So we'll get that feedback to Rodney. Talk to Pat, talk to your mentors, talk to everything else. Maybe by the end of the day, we can get some good feedback on this idea or this concept. So what I'm thinking about is this. Toward the end of the day, maybe around 3 o'clock, okay, a mentor who runs the 4 to 6 session, could be Pat or somebody else here, might need a volunteer to do it. I have a feeling that the most appropriate volunteer to do it will be a rotation of people who are our representative staff, okay? So that they can engage with their clients. Just an idea. And they should get on there and they should run these sessions and they should engage with their clients, And this is what the session would do, okay? At about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they'll look back for the entire day, all the way back to the morning, and they can go, very interesting. We had a upward trend, we had a pullback, we had a ball here, and we had a ball there, right? And they could say, this is the long trade that we're going to analyze. And then they could go, oh, you know what? Right after that, there was a ball here that was a short trade. Let's analyze that short trade. So from 4 to 5, they'll be analyzing a long trade of the day. And from 5 to 6, they'll be analyzing the short trade of the day. And so what they would do is they'd come on at 4 o'clock and they'd say, welcome to our deal here. Welcome in, there'll be this will be the time frame for visitors and for our regular members who want to do the daily vol analysis. And they would say, okay, well, welcome visitors. This is the rules. This is your rule sheet you should have. You should have talked to your rep, and you have the pattern, which by now Pat should have down on that 1 to 3 session, because that was Pat's job, is to have that down pat for new people. So every day it would be new people, and you want to tell them, okay, we're trading the S&P 500. This is the real deal. You can, for credibility, you can look at the pricing of all the things that we're looking at today at these particular price levels and compare them to the daily chart. Now, the market's not going to be up between 4 and 6. So we're not interrupting any of our regular trading. That's the genius part about this, okay? And then they can say, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you how we evaluate trades. Let's take a look at the long trade. Let's take a look at the rule sheet. Price went up. It came down, gave us a discount. We got some rejection in a ball. Now we're going to evaluate it. The trend is good. The retracement is good. Body stop is good. The headroom is good. We're going to trade, and we're going to do this on a 20 contract basis. We're going to trade 20 contracts. Or 2 contracts, whatever. You can say 2 contracts. We'll decide which one we want to do, but everybody will do it the same all the time. Okay. So on 2 contract trading, on this particular trade, let's look at the result. They're going to bring up their playback, and they're going to go to that spot, analyze it. They're going to say, let's look at our playback 5 to 10 times speed. If it's a trade that took a long time, 10 times speed. If it's a trade that didn't take a long time, 5 times speed. The idea of the speed is to time speed to when the trade played out, so that you know how much teaching time you have. You don't want to play at 10 times speed and it's over in 2 minutes while you're trying to explain the trade. So that you can explain the trade as it's playing out, and the visitors can see how we analyze the trade. There's a trade. We won. In this case, $400. One of the things that you want to do is apply a couple of the other concepts to the new people, because first day, second day. So we'll have first day, second day, and it doesn't matter which day they're on. They can get the second day first, but we'll have 2 different lessons. And one of those lessons would be what happens when you lose a trade and win a trade. So they'll find one long winner and one. So day 2, they would find one. We'll just call it day 2. It doesn't mean it's their second day. It could be their first day. Day 2, they say we're going to analyze 2 long trades during this hour. One of them's a winner, one of them's a loser. But look, we made a point profit. That point profit is 1.5% on your money. Stupid simple. Who wouldn't want 1.5% on their money a day, right? And so we teach the visitors the importance of the trade, but at the same time, every day we're analyzing the trade of the day. These trades of the day, I will get somebody else to record them and make a little quip of the trade analysis only, just of the trade analysis only, and then we could then, on visitors that haven't engaged right away, we could send them these periodically in drip campaigns to potential members for marketing purposes, and keep them in front of us. Because the worst thing that could ever happen is us pay millions of dollars for advertising. Visitors come and visitors, when they see what we did like today, they should be jumping on the sofa like a puppy dog, just peeing all over the place. That happy that they finally found what it is they've been looking for their whole life. That's the response we should get. I get that response a lot, right? But that's the response we should always get. The worst thing that could ever happen is somebody to get excited in our group and then go to a charlatan, lose the money. That's the worst thing that can happen. That's why I press it so damn hard. Because they think they can learn stuff for free on YouTube. That's why we don't have a lot of young people, because our older people are wiser. They know better, right? But the young people think they can get everything for free, and get back to that, we talk about it all the time. So the worst thing I can do is excite somebody and then go someplace else. Or to, hit, that's tragedy, right? We want to continue to engage them, because once we engage somebody, we're actually morally and ethically responsible for what they're seeing and reading. And I take that very serious. Don't rod me. Like, pound on my desk serious. Okay? I take this I get really excited and animated. Sometimes people think I'm mad, but when I'm teaching, and with people that I work with, I'm very animated because I'm very passionate about what we do. It's shit. Sliced bread wasn't better. I don't even really like sliced bread all that much. Good broaching, slice that puppy in the middle, fresh, good, nice bratwurst on there, some scent. Good to go. Homemade scent. Oh my God. Oh wow. I'm hungry. Okay, so the young ones, yes, Matthew, you millennial types. Gotta give Matthew a hard time. All right, so I'm thinking that 4 to 6 session would be great for visitors, because we're not trading and we're not going to get distracted, and we can show them trade evaluations and all that kind of stuff. Then the representatives, if they're handling things appropriately, the key, they do their jobs. Now, if they want to bring them into an evening session and escort them in, or they want to bring them into a morning session and escort them in, or a 1 to 3 session and escort them in, okay? But my intentions on the 1 to 3 session, I haven't been getting back the feedback that I expected to get back on that 1 to 3 session. So I kind of have to take the bull by the horns. This is an idea that I had to do a ball evaluation and have the person who's doing the moderating select that, do it on the playback, so it's very quick, very rapid, and the evaluation is, and you're going to be seeing a lot of the same evaluations, and you're supposed to. But what happens in a market when there's not a ball and it's a 4-point scale and it's, you stay out, right? We've got to stop this crap where we're evaluating garbage to give people more options to get crazy, right? We don't want to go down that trend. So we always have to, whenever I see that, I start making phone calls with people and find them on the breaks. Believe me, I listen to calls that happen when people call in off the radio. I listen to calls that happen, whatever. I drop into sessions. I get phone calls from everybody about everything. Kudos, whining, you name it, the whole gamut. We're dealing with a lot of people here, a lot of people. So we hear it all. I want to continue. I don't want to just continue to be the best. I want to keep accelerating on what we offer. So the people that don't even know our group can recognize it instantly, which they already do. But there's no excuse for not continuing to get better. What do you guys think about that? You hate that for me. It makes for a long weekend sometimes. Spend my weekend fixing messes a lot of times. That happen. But that's what I do. That's my career. My career. What do you guys think of that? What do you think of that 4 to 6 time frame? Think back to when you were a visitor. Instead of getting up at 10 to 12, hey, 4 to 6, come see what we do. We're gonna take you into an analysis session. They're here to show stuff, but you can't be lazy. It's like representatives couldn't be lazy on this, like mine. The representatives sometimes you'll have people that rely on me to sell the concept and how great our group is during the sessions. That's not my job. My job is risk mitigation. And I don't like it. I don't like the sales and marketing aspect. It's just a necessary evil. Otherwise, we wouldn't have anybody in the group, right? We'd have nobody to teach and no money to teach them with. So that's just the reality of life. Things cost money. Everything we're doing here costs money. You think, go out and price Adobe Connect. Go do that. Okay? It costs me more than a membership does. So go price it. See, everything we do costs money, right? And it costs a lot of money because not only do you have to pay for the elements to do it, you have to pay for the people to do it. Then I got to pay the taxes to pay the people to do it. Then I got on and on and on. So it costs a lot of money. So it will overlap the 4:30 to 5:30 session. We may or may, I don't know. I'm just, Ron, I've got to do something with the visitors as we have more, because we have more demand, so it gets a little unruly, and I don't want it to distract our members, because that's my number one concern, right? Number two, well, I've got 2 major concerns. The business component of it, because we need money to, if a company's not growing, it's dying, right? That's just the way it is. So, but as we grow, I have to displace some of that energy off of our regular trading session. Otherwise, it'll be too distracting to the members. For what long period of time, Carl? Yes, targeted to the visitors. No, I explained. It's targeted to 2 people. Number 1, visitors, because you're going to do the visitor welcome and the rules and what we do every day. And number 2, trade analysis for the group members. There's no reason that I should have a member that's been with me for 6 months that can't tell me about cloudy stops, upside down, backwards, inside out, and everything else, and know everything they need to know about. But the reality is that's not the case. So apparently people need to see it over and over and over. And if you're analyzing trades that took place earlier that day, you're analyzing perfection, and you take that component out of it. But you're not going to be trading during that time because the market's closed. So it's a great time to do it. Now, I don't know what you guys mean about the overlap, the 4:30 to 5:30 session. Is there a 4:30 to 5:30 Eastern session? We'll talk about it. I don't know. We'll do it. But during the time that they're off, Um, so I want you guys to call and have conversations with your liaisons and have the liaisons call Rodney. Not so much with your reps. I mean, the reps, that's cool too. But they're working right now, making phone calls to people. I don't want to jam them up too much, but we want to get this information back on what you think, and let your liaison, or talk to your liaison. If you don't have a liaison, figure something out, and talk to other people, and just kind of help them. Talk to your meetup captain about that too. Meetup captain is another person to filter, so we don't have 30 million people calling the reps, keeping them on the phone when they're trying to work. Will the visitors be interested for that long period of time? What time did I say? 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock? Is that what I said? I'm not sure what that means, that long period of time. 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. What everybody, what did I say? 4 to 6. What did I say? I thought I said 4 to 6, which is 2 hours in my, like, when I learned math. That's okay, Carl. They're like, well, I'm not sure what you were talking about. Okay, so 4 to 6 o'clock, that's when the market's closed, right? Okay. So it'd be a great time for doing playback reviews. And then, so maybe they go from 4 to 5. Like I said, there's 2 sessions, 4 to 5, it's an hour-long section, and then 5 to 6, that's an hour-long section. One of them is for long trades, concentrate on long trades, the other is for short trades. And you do a long trade winners, long trade winner and loser. Show the aspect ratio, right? And why we have profit acceleration curves. Okay? Nobody else does that. Nobody else discusses a profit acceleration curve based on the risk reward ratios. And that's why you see me make the money that I make and everybody else make the money they make when they're making money and making the right decision. So do you guys, well, all right then. I don't know what Marsha was saying. Well, all right then. Marsha, your thoughts? Marsha, you're in. So during that period of time, what I want to do is, I have a very set schedule pricing that we're going to go to as we're increasing availability. I've got to evaluate. We did like I told you when we started the 1 to 3 session, we kind of did that as a experiment. Maybe the 1 to 3 session will start being handled by 2 people who are trying to earn their purple belt, or their purple cord, I should say, or their round cords or their blue cords, and that sort of thing. That's part of the deal, and we rotate people through like that. Maybe the 6 or the 4 to 6 session is handled by representatives, because that gives them an opportunity to, hey, I'm handling it today from 4 to 5, and then the other representatives taking over from 5 to 6. They can analyze the trades. That way, we're one of the very few groups that I know of where the representatives of the group actually have trading skills. Go figure. That helps in some cases. They have to realize they're not there to educate people until they're members, right? So when they're trying to get people to join the group, sometimes we cross that line. We have to bring that line back into focus. And it would be a great opportunity for representatives to take an hour. Hey, you know what? You're my guy. Guess what? You're lucky, because tomorrow at the 5 to 6 session, I'm going to be doing it. Why don't you take a look at the 4 to 5 session beforehand, learn your long trade pretty well, and then when you get into my session, I'm take it right. And every time you talk to a new person, you're going to identify where their goat's tied, what they need, and how that when you're in that little session for an hour, showing some things, how that's going to relate to the other session. Or guess what? I'm going to be teaching the first session. I'm going to be analyzing the trade of the day, and then which we did and you'll know. Well, you won't know ahead of time the next day. I'll be analyzing a trade of the day for tomorrow, and then I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be taking a buy, and whether the market's going up or down. I'm going to be analyzing a buy, and then Fred will have a schedule. He said Fred's going to be taking over the schedule from 5 to 6, and he's going to be analyzing a short trade, a sell trade. And you're going to have your rule sheet up. It's very important that we, right? Because there's some engagement that isn't happening, and the accountability portion of it is getting very difficult. So I have to come up with ways to be accountable. And I think that would really open up the communication with some of the visitors a lot more. It'll also relax the visitors a little bit, and they're not asking questions while we're in the middle of a trade, you know, and be a little bit less distracting, and we can limit it to that. And then the only visitors that go to that session, and we wouldn't make it a requirement, are the ones that have been into the analysis session for visitors. So if they go to a live session, it's for a very specific reason. We just don't let people in there just so they can try to steal as much knowledge as they can, because people do that. It's unfortunate. It's not, and they don't even know it's immoral. That's the sad part. All right. I am one of the things, from a representative standpoint, we have we're taking on 4 new stations. We're losing one of our big stations because they're selling that station to another network. But we're taking on 4 new stations, a really big one in Houston, another one in Houston, and 3 different slots in Atlanta on 2 different stations, Atlanta stations. So 4 new stations, I think, is what we're taking on over the next couple of weeks. So we need representatives for the phone and things like that. However, it's not a game. It's not like, well, I could just do this part-time, or, you know, it's very taxing and very serious. So think about, I've got a lot of people that said, I want to be more involved with the group. I want to be right. Think about that involvement level, because it's not easy and it takes skills, right? And I have very specific, you don't deal with me so much anymore, but I have very specific performance standards, right? And Rodney will be doing that. So maybe in a couple of days we'll outline that. So if you're interested in something like that, again, filter it on up the channel, get it to Rodney, who might be interested in, and then he's going to outline things. He's probably has to be even harsher on our traders when they want to do it, and people outside the company who we then teach to represent and trade, because of the nature of it. And it's not a joke. Very expensive, and we have to manage it correctly. That's sort of the behind the scenes stuff going on. Oh, David, there you go. The cost of delta tracking depends on how we're going to set the signal. At first, we're going to have a signal that will alert you and say, hey, here's the trade. This is the entry point. And do you want to take this trade? And you can or you can't. I was going to have the signal by trade. It'll be very difficult to manage income by trade. So we're going to have our stuff linked to your ladder, so we know what trades you are taking, so you can't cheat. Okay? You don't want to cheat. You don't want to cheat. Okay? I was thinking about this, where we want to go originally. So we'll have the S&P 500, and these are all the E-minis. E-mini. S&P 500. Okay. We'll have, excuse me, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and then another one. Okay. So we'll have, let's say the Russell. So we'll have four markets. Okay. I'll probably do long signals for each market and short signals for each market. each one of these signals that you get per day is $50. So $50 a day. So if you want the long and the short, it's $100 a day. Right? If you want all the signals, it's $400 a day. Right? And then we can do the micro ones as well. The micro ones are the micro. We're still working out some, because we're working on these so hard, I haven't been spending as much time on the micros. I'm getting, there's a lot of people selling them that don't know what they're doing, okay? And I want to make sure that we know what we're doing from a profitability standpoint, because your commission ratio is so high. So we have the commissions aren't as high, but the ratio is much higher. So we have to adjust the profitability and risk margins differently to make it really work. So we'll forget about the micros a bit. The micros are good to like set people up, but only if we can do it in a way that's profitable for the people. So this is my pricing model. How I make that model work, we're not sure yet. And some people might say, well, why would you have a long signal and a short signal? It's because of what I explained before. If you're going to be trading long and short, I'm going to have to set up a camp for you to come to. Sit down 2 or 3 days, probably a 2-day camp. Like you get there one night, right? You spend 2 days, and you're not going to be late. You're not going to. If it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to walk in at 9:05. This is military standards. I'm just preparing you. Okay. I missed. What did I miss? You're not going to be disruptive. It's going to be intensive training for 2 days. 2 days. Your life is there. You're going to leave your damn cell phones outside. You're not going to be Facebooking and bullshit during classes. You know, or you're out. You want to do that? You can either be in class and learn, or you can be on Facebook. Okay? You know, and taking phone calls and all that kind of crap. Okay? It's you know, if you think you're going to have to get up and go pee every 5 minutes, then we'll find you a seat next to the door and get you an invisibility mask and cut you off from the rest of the class. This is serious. Hello, Paradise. Exactly. No, I'm just kidding. But it is serious. So to get certain signals, right? And here's why. Because see, you can't do this down here unless you know how to do it. You need to be trained properly how to do it. Because when you start doing this, you'll do like everybody else that I've ever given an automated training. You're going to start screwing up because you're going to get greedy. You're going to start overextending yourself. I won't do it. I've got discipline. I won't do it. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Then after 3 months, they're just rocking and rolling on 2 contracts where they be. And then next thing you know, oh, I got busted my account. Well, what did you do? All the signals are great. Everybody else made money. Why'd you lose money? Man, I started trading 10 contracts. And then it just went south. I said, well, how many contracts were you trading before 10? 2? Why did you do that? I know. I was afraid to call you. Right? I can't, Rob, how many times do I hear that? Anybody that's been with me over the years. You just do it because it's a part. And it just happens, right? They're doing well, so they're going to like throw all their money in it. And that's what you don't want to do. You want to dollar cost average your lifestyle. Okay? So Bitcoin, I've been, you know, like I say, like Bitcoin price went up almost 20 grand area, right? Then it dropped back down to, I don't know how far it dropped back down to. I was trading it. I don't even know what the hell price it was. I just automatically every week buy, right? And then now it was up to like almost 9,000. Well, it was like penetrated to like 9,000. Now it dropped back like last night to 70 something, right? I'm buying it while it's going up. I'm buying it while it goes down. I'm buying it while it goes up. I'll buy it down if it goes down to $1, right? And then whatever, so that then my average purchases are where they should be. So when it goes back up, penetrates 20, gets up to 30, and then never wants to ever get down below 20,000 again, except maybe in a market flash crash or something, I'm good to go. That's how I mitigate, and I don't worry about it. I don't lose sleep over it, because that's just what I'm doing. And I just take portion of my assets into it, not all of them. If it's going better, I don't say, oh, it's going good now, I'll take more of my assets. If it's going better, right? And I'm into a couple of different things that whatever. And there's some things I know nothing about, you know, in that market because I utilize fundamental type things. So very interesting. It haven't gone down to 2784 yet. Let me see what it is right now. I wonder what it is right now. Look at it right now. What's going on? Oh, 8,036. Okay, went down from about 8,900, 88, 8,700. That's 8,036 right now. It's down. Ethereum's down. Ripple's down. Litecoin is down. EOS is down. Binance is down. Tether's down. Stellar's down. Tron's down. Monero's down. Dash is down. IOTA's down. They're all down, right? That's what they do. They go up, they go down, and they'll all go up again. And when's the best time to get in? Well, when you do it right, you can either put a lot of money in, or you can dollar cost average out over time. I recommend for the average person, the dollar cost average out over time. That's it. And if it's going up, keep buying. If it's going down, keep buying. And buy to your limit. You know what your limit is, and that's it. You stay there. You do the same thing with real estate. You do the same thing with gold. In metals, you do the same thing with all of your assets. And then, every now and then, you adjust them. Once you get everything to a certain level, certain ratio, now you're fully invested, except that you're adding stuff all the time. Then when you get to a certain level, you take the ones that are on the upper, just like we do on our charts. You know, you've got trend, retracement, boom. You take the ones that are up here, you sell them, and you buy the ones that are down here, you readjust. But you don't do it every day like a hawk. I'm going to watch that market like a hawk. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're not going to hit the highs, you're not going to hit the lows. So you're going to hit the Goldilocks zone. So let me redo that. That's what the market's doing, right? So you sell stuff here. This is where you sell. You're not trying to hit here. You'll never get that. And then you buy stuff right here. Right? Not right here. You'll never get that. So it's a little Goldilocks zone that you trade in. You know what's going up, you know, right? And there's not that big of a spread there. And typically, if you just held on to everything, you know, and only do it in times that are really significant, then you're good to go. And that's kind of how the big boys do it. You don't even really need to be that sophisticated. It's simple. We do it every day. Do it every day. I mean, so, let me see. Oh, I bought some Bitcoin up there, 18,000 something. Yeah, I bought some that was way up there. I also bought some that was super cheap, and it averages out. It averages out probably about $6,500 is where I'm in most everything at. But I'm not too worried about it because I'll buy some other coin. And with the pairings of the markets, I'm just kind of trading straight across. It really doesn't matter. So if Bitcoin goes up, the comparison of the two are going up, and there's little ratios. I'll look at it, try to get a little bit of a deal. And if I'm not getting too big of a deal, too much about it. All right. So we're looking at ways to maximize, visits, make it the most valuable for the visitors. Every day I want visitors to take away like, damn, that was magic, right? Because it is. Okay, every day. And that's what we got to accomplish. And I think that maybe a 4 to 6 might be good. I don't know. Let me know if there's anything negative that you think about it. Yeah, smart people buy when the prices are going down. It's just, they just keep buying. You don't buy it all at once. You just You don't buy it all at once. It's going down. I'm going to buy it all at once. You just keep buying it. And if it doesn't go down and it goes up, you keep buying it. It goes up and you're still buying it, and it doesn't go down, then you're in. When it goes back down and you're still buying it, you're catching your averages. And then until you are fully in the market, and then you just sit on it. You'll make more money. All right. On average, very few people beat the market. I hate it. I beat the market. What they really mean is, if the market went up 10% this year, and I made 12%, I beat the market. I beat the market performance. But they say I beat the market. But it's a really bad thing to say, because that gives you a connotation that it's really misleading. You're not here to beat the market. You're here to work with the market to increase your revenues. Big difference. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm late. Again, I gotta quit. You know, you think, I'm like, what can I say in 2 hours? I can read, right? 2 hours and 46 minutes. See, we just over-deliver all the time. Is there a trading chart for crypto? Well, you know, there are crypto. In fact, the CME does crypto trading charts, and I'll bring up a trading chart right now. Hold on a minute. I gotta do something. Let me. Hold on. We gotta do some security things here first, though. Let me see if I can bring up a. I want to bring up something that I don't want to bring up a certain account. For security reasons, obviously. By the way, quit recording this session. Just additional security. Not that this one is going to matter, all this particular account's going to matter all that much. I don't keep money in the accounts. I make trades and then I get out. Don't ever keep your money in the markets, in the deals here. Okay. Let me take a look here. I'll do a little trade for you. It'll be a tiny, tiny, tiny trade. All right. Okay. I'll actually do a trade for you. I'm looking at a couple things here. Nail this down. All right, you're asking, yeah, are there charts? Okay, sure. Here you go. Here's one here. This is a company called Binance. They are a market for trading currencies against other currencies. So there's a currency called TRX. I really like it. I like Justin Sun, the founder of it. He founded another cryptocurrency. He was on the development team for another top 10 cryptocurrency. Tron is good. Anybody wants to talk to me about Tron, I'll tell you all about it. So let's say I want to buy some Tron, okay? So what I'll do is I'll go to the favorites here. I will trade some Ethereum for some Tron. So I'm going to go Tron. So I'm just going to do a small trade. So here is, it's showing the pricing, showing some other indicators on here, and I could draw on the screen too. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you see how I have limit orders, market orders, and stop limit orders. I want to purchase a little bit of the Tron, but I'm going to change this so I do a market order, and I'm going to buy maybe, oh, what the heck? I'm just going to do a tiny order. I'm going to buy 10 Tron at this market order. And then I'm going to check right now that my market order is right here. Oh, I'm asking for 49 and it's already at 46. So if I go to do that order, it's going to say you're trying to enter in an order at the current, more than the current price probably. So let me try it. I'm going to buy Tron. Order invalid. Oh, must be at least 0.01. Okay, well, there we go. Ethereum, 0.01. There you go. I need to do at least 70 Tron. I'm going to go buy Tron. Okay, 0.015. I don't do small amounts like this, so I wasn't. Okay. Okay, so I submitted exchange limit buy order for 100 Tron using Ethereum. Okay, so not showing, oh, my order must have filled. So let me, for security reasons, let me take that off the screen. I'm going to go to orders. And I'm going to see if my little order filled. Open orders. No, yeah, it must have filled. So I'm going to go to order history. I'm going to take a peek here. Let me get rid of this over here. Well, actually, we can look at that there. Okay, I'm going to go into the order history. That's fine. So I can see that today, right, I just purchased 106 Tron for this much Ethereum. There it is right there. So I did a limit order buy, and it actually happened. Okay. So I just bought like 1,000, or I mean 100. So there you go. So yes, you have. Let me go back to the exchange here. Okay. So there you go. This particular account, I just once I buy something, I leave it over. So I just have a little bit of money in it. All right. So we just did a purchase, and yes, so you have charts and everything else. The problem is when you go to look at technical analysis from people on the internet, I have found no one, zero person on the internet that knows how to do technical analysis properly. They can do that armchair quarterback analysis. It means nothing, right? Well, these levels and those levels, get out of here, right? It means nothing. The way that they actually do it. But anyway, that's it. I actually just, I took one particular type of coin called Ethereum. I just bought another type of coin called. Any questions? Did you like that demonstration? Yeah, he did the charity thing. $4.3 million they have listed for Warren Buffett. All right. It's just like regular currency trading, pretty much. It's the same. You know, you got to understand the technical and the fundamental analysis stuff. It's a little bit different. Yeah, look at this price shooting up today. Wow, pretty crazy. But anyway, all right, guys, love you. We'll see you tomorrow, and take care. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
T minus 13, 12. Hold on, I gotta share my charts. Go on, go on, go on. Screen, 3, 2, 1, almost 11:59. Oh boy, I got my ladder showing up here. I was in a trade earlier. Yippee! Okay, gotta make sure people can hear me and I can hear them. Oh boy, sorry. I'm under a little pressure today. Can people hear me? Okay, let me make sure I can hear them. Burr when he's talking, so let's see. It's 5, 4, 3. Tyler.
Let's go, Pat.
Going okay. I didn't have my pencil out. I wasn't writing. I'm going to have to rewatch that recording because I had my lawnmower running machine running outside, and I came in and well, here we are. Merry Christmas. Bring up the rule sheet, a little situational awareness. What do we got going on right now? Welcome visitors, welcome members. We're going to cover what we do. What we got going on right now is a real nice clear upward trend. Our 90-minute EMA demonstrates that. We've got a couple of nice lightning bolt patterns that have been built with the Pensavento pattern. And right now, our most recent price action is from 85 to 95. It's a 10-point price action. We'd be looking for, we wouldn't be considering going short at this point unless we were going to actually try and trade a retracement. And that's just like trying to run into the wind. I'd rather not do that. That's not something I'm yet competent doing. I don't know. I'd have to build a real track record at it before I consider doing it. And I don't think I'd do it anyway because trading with the trend is very advantageous. What I'd be looking for to happen in the near future to consider taking a trade would be for this price action that we have here to come down somewhere between 30 and 50%. So there'd be 50, there'd be 30. If this price drops down around this area and then we get a buy signal, a green ball, we'll torch it, evaluate it, and really pretty much no matter how it ends up, we'll take it because we're going to be demonstrating trades here, not necessarily with all the rules, but to show how price action works and how taking trades work. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll bring up the simulation ladder, which is what I'll use if I take trades to, or when I take trades to. I've also got my live done up because I'm a trader and I'm a member. I take trades when they fit the rules. This is a real nice day for trades that fit the rules. So I will make sure, do my best to make sure I don't overlap the two. My done, send up. And any visitors want to say hello? Hola, or bueno, or hey man. We're to say hello. This is what we do. We watch the market, take trades, we evaluate them, get involved, and we have a goal not of winning trades, but of making money. I won 5 out of 6 trades. I lost 7 points last round. The ones I lost 7 points on each. The ones I won, I made a quarter point. It's not about winning trades. It's about making money. It's a really excellent method for money management that the highly experienced, successful people use. We're taught how to do that, and it's been drilled into my head, and I've done it repeatedly. Live, simulation, real money, playbacks, etc. What we utilize is what's called this $1 million worksheet. Any visitors want to say hello? Just so we know we got some visitors. That's kind of got this session geared up for. So anybody who might be a visitor, just kind of with your eye watching what's going on, you can just say hello. We won't engage in any way you don't want to be engaged, but if you just want to say hola, that'd be nice. So let's see what we got going on here. Simulator. Oh, bye. That's not good. Our trade that we take is a target of gain of 4 and a stop loss of 3. And that being the case, when we enter a trade, it's automatically bracketed. So those are our 2 targets. And the real idea is take it and walk away. It may come real close to stopping out, turn around and fill. It may come real close to filling. But overall, taking these trades with the parameters we use is the only way I have ever made money as a trader. I've been trading live money just a little over a year now. And anyway, I've had a real happy experience. So let's see, we do have a signal coming in here. It's still going to be almost 5 minutes till it might be time to actually take the trade. We take trades when the timer counts down to 0. At the end of 5-minute intervals, we decide whether to enter a trade or not. But what we have right here, right now, is a green ball against a price actual about 10 points. And if people want to start torching it, that'd be a good idea. Bad position on it. Yeah, Valerie, it is a bad position, but it's not the worst. There's still a point of headroom. 2 would be nice. The retracement is about 25% overall. The entry price would be more like 12 or 15. But heck, at this point, I don't like this trade for live money for me. I'm not tempted to get into it, but to score it, I would say trend to 0. Retracement would be 2. I take 2 points off for retracement. It's out of it. Now let's see how the clouds. Entry here, 994, 3, 2, 1. The clouds are in about 15 minutes. So I'd probably take 2 off for clouds also, 0 for headroom. So I'd make this a 56 right now, is the way I'm looking at it. Hi, Crystal. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Gregory, what time is it there where you're at in the Middle East? Is there anyone hailing on, talking on here yet? Can you hear, Crystal, can you hear anything? David gives it a 56. You know what? I'm going to take this when the timer counts down. If that ball sticks, just so we'll see how it plays out. See how a trade works out. It's doggone it. Traders take trades when they're learning and seeing what happens. There's another component later on where you realize when to stay out. That's good too. If you're having audio problems, Crystal Carr, can you hear me? Can you hear anything? Just a yes or no. Good day. I see a good day from Crystal. And a peekaboo from Mark. It sure is. Peekaboo. But they peekaboo a lot in the last minute. That gives me concern. But this is a good situation because the prior candle was also the same color as the ball. Now it's eating up our headroom for profit. We still have a point of headroom. And well, here we go. 244. Try the instruction. Okay. Crystal, if you click, there's a speaker looking.
Can't hear you, Pat. Can't hear you. That's the problem.
You're right. Well, I'm not smarter than the average bear, I guess.
Usually this stuff gets fixed when you run the audio. Sometimes not. All depends. People have, they have hardware issues.
Ladine, you're right. It's not a good retracement. I'm looking for entry at 27.92. That would, yeah. And you know what? There is always a better trade ahead. During this retracement period, it may give us several signals that could all be good signal entry points. But just because this ball doesn't stick doesn't mean that in 5, 10, 12 minutes, we might not have a really juicy, perfect B123 that would score 60, which would still be 2 out of 5 times it wouldn't fill, but statistically, it would be a good trade at any point. We got 30 to 50% retracement. Let's see. I guess I would tell you I'm Pat Randolph. I've been a member about 15 months, and I've been trading live money for just over a year. And during that first year, well, actually, during the first 6 months, there were 6 weeks that I wasn't trading live money because I was back on simulator. And I did that because the rules say. I decided that I was going to follow the rules and see what happened. One of the rules was if you're under 50% for your last 20 total trades, you go back on the simulator until your combined last 20 trades reach 50%. Did that, and I hated it. Oh, I'm missing my chance to make money. This is all my boom, 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 boom. And what happened was that experience of going back on the sim taught me a lot of things that I'd heard and I kind of understood, but I didn't understand until I actually lived through it. And anyway, that first 6 months, I spent about a fourth of that time not trading live money because I was back in simulation. And then after about 6 months, there was kind of a traction that occurred. I kind of started getting some stuff differently. Became able to see a bigger picture. And over the next, I don't know, about 3 months, yes, about 15 weeks after that, I went through that process going from 1 contract to 2. And over the next 15, 16 weeks after that, I went from 2 to 3 and on my way to 4. And it was like the acceleration curve kicked in. But it just couldn't have happened without going through the process of what was described to do. The academy taught me a world of stuff. It took me level set with all the other members, talk with, chat with, go to evening sessions with, meet at meetups, talk about trades, bring printouts of day's activity and talk about it, learn and grow and more. Anyway, because we have a blue ball here, I'll point to, well, that's a signal, right? Yeah, it is a signal. However, it doesn't meet our criteria for being with the trend. When a signal comes up that does not comport with what the trend is, we can just ignore it completely. At first, I thought that indicator was going to be, it's green buy when it turns blue sell, when it turns green buy when it turns blue sell, and it's a starting point. But what it really is when we get a signal that's with the trend, we can evaluate it. It gives us permission to evaluate it, and based on how it scores, we either take it or don't. And when that next signal occurs, whatever direction it is, the same direction or the other, if that signal is not according with what the current trend is, and right now we have a clear trend, we've got an established trend, up, retrace, retrace, we're on an upward trend clearly, and when a signal opposite that comes in, ignore it. I got much more comfortable. Oh, no, now it's up, now it's down. It was like being a fly dancing around on a hot skillet. No, not worried right now. In fact, this could be a good thing, giving us a much better re-entry point. Could have a green ball signal show up in the next 4 or 5 minutes. We'll see what happens. But this is what we want to happen. Inhale with the exhale. Another inhale. When we're inhaling, we don't jump in because we might be getting close to the top of that inhale and going to do the exhale. So I use the explanation of inhale versus exhale. There was an inhale, an exhale, or inhale, some exhale. If we get a signal at this point, it would be a good location to contemplate taking a trade. I think it was Levine who said 2792 would have been a good spot on my chart. Let's see what happens here. Anyway, I never thought that I'd come across something that could really, really, really change my life financially, change my sense of self-esteem.
I'll evaluate that blue ball for you there, John. It's the blue ball will start with trend, that's T, and it's -10, no trade. It didn't take long.
Next question. Now, we might have a real good looking green ball show up next. We want, when a blue ball shows up, if 90-minute EMA is the opposite color or is green instead of blue, that's a pretty good indicator right from the start. We might want to contemplate just ignoring it. That's not always the case, but initially that's the point at which we build our track record from, we get the experience.